Hey. Oh yeah. 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 I've been seeing posts. Yeah. 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 I hear you fine. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Other than my poor lighting, for some reason, I just look like a white ghost on a dark background. But I don't know. Maybe it's because I got sun blankets behind me just to help with the. I got like crickets, locusts, and other insects chirping outside. So I'm trying to block the sound with these sound blankets. Oh, all right. Let me go over to the Happy Hour website then, or the channel page. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah, because that's the only way for me to see chat. Yeah, is to look at the YouTube. There it is. Okay, I can pop it out then. All right, pop out chat. All right, there I am. All right.
Look, I'm gonna be honest. I don't really like beer that much.
Oh, I see the. Okay, so they're saying that they can't hear you. Uh, I I know exactly what you're talking about because I have to do this every time I do a live stream. The cameras and the audio never work as they did last time. You always have to go fumble around with settings and stuff. It's such a pain in the ass, honestly. Sometimes
Just don't mess up with the settings. I'm like, I don't mess the settings. It still just moves everything around.
it's software, it's computers, man. It's just like it's the junk that we got to deal with. I mean, we need to switch to like a hardware based solution.
For
you
sure.
Just push a hard button and then that's it, done, right? You don't have to worry about cloud services or stream this or OBS that, I mean that nonsense. I mean, it's all free.
It is free, or $6 a month or whatever I pay.
There's no such thing as free in life.
There's no such thing as free.
Everything's got a cost.
Everything's
got a
cost.
price.
I like that. Okay, I'm here, man. We're good. Okay, we got Larry here. What's going on, everybody? This is CH out here in Knoxville, and we got Larry out there in the Midwest, man. Welcome aboard. Whoa.
Cheers.
Super chat coming through. Patrick Sandy, man. Much love, my braj. Cheers, Patrick. Thanks for the first super chat. Larry, what are you drinking over there, bro?
I'm actually drinking a Marzen style beer.
Okay.
So salute to that.
Hell yeah. Is that homebrew?
Yeah.
Thank you,
Patrick.
No,
actually, I actually have a special homebrew. That's I brewed 20 gallons of beer last weekend, and all my fridge space is used up. I don't have any room for any other beers right now. So, and I made 20 gallons of beer, 10 gallons of Fest beer, and 10 gallons of the Marzen style for an Oktoberfest party I'm throwing on my birthday in like October 1st.
Damn, I wish I had that problem.
Huge party here, so I'm going to have German food and music and people first and 20 gallons of homebrew. So I got no space for homebrew aside from that. All my kegs are all going to be used up. All my storage space is all filled up.
I love hearing that, man. You're like on a good YouTube one right now too, man. I'm jealous. I've got the YouTube hiatus bug.
Oh well, I haven't really done much. I mean, I've done some. I have a whole backlog of stuff I haven't done from like going back to last November.
Stresses me out, man. Damn, we got another super chat, man. Thank you, Brandon Chamberlain, man. Much love, man. Cheers, everybody. Happy Wednesday night.
Look,
happy Wednesday. Cheers. I know what you mean about getting the burnout. I fight it every month. It's like I have to force myself to get off my ass and do something.
Yeah, I've seen. I think the last video I watched of yours was the corn video. How are those videos doing, man?
Oh, the corn video. I haven't gone back and looked honestly, but I should go take a look because now you got me interested in my own channel. I haven't been paying attention to any of the stats in a while.
Yeah.
Let me see here. I kind of got out of the habit of checking my stats.
Dude.
Okay, I lost.
Super chats
I got
are
800.
rolling in, man. Super chats are rolling in right here, man. We just started, man. Meso things, man. Strider, much love. Cheers, CH Larry, and everyone watching. Hit that like. Much love, Strider. Thanks, Meso. Thanks, Meso, Brandon, and Patrick Sandy,
Look,
man.
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, thanks everyone for sure, dude. Nice. Thanks for all the nice comments. But yeah, I only got 886 views on that corn blanching video, and I lost 4 subscribers. So there you go.
Yeah.
So I guess food's not my thing no more, I guess.
That's how it works sometimes, though. I've just been putting out weird videos lately. I'm not even putting out videos lately, but I'm doing, I don't know. I'm chopping up some of these happy hours and going back and looking at them and stuff like that. And there's some cool topics and stuff like that in here. And it still takes time to do, but it's obviously a lot less, strenuous than filming a grain to glass day, which I haven't done in 7 months. But yeah, man. So keep it going, keep the motivation going, and I'll be back, Larry. I promise. Give me one more week. The way I see it, if you want to take a break off YouTube, just do a month. Just do a month. Don't do a video here, then take a week off, then come back and do 2, and then take 2 weeks off. Just take a month off the gym. Damn, dude. Brew Show coming in hot, man. I forgot what these super chats were like, man. Here's shout out to the Brew Show, man. Much love, Trent.
Look, I'm gonna be honest.
All
What
right.
up, Brew Dad?
Good
What up,
work.
Chris Vodka? Patrick Sandy in the house. What up, Gnome? Blackwood Brews. Yeah, and I've got a trip to go out to Asheville with Jesse from Stillet and Kyle from Clawhammer in a couple weeks. So I definitely want to have something out before that.
Oh, that's really cool. All
It
right,
is cool.
man.
Yeah. Do you follow Jesse's channel? Do you watch Stillet at all?
Subscribe. I only watch every third video. Unfortunately, I
Yeah.
don't get around to watch them all. But yeah,
I hear
I'm
you.
a subscriber. Sure, yeah.
100%. And it's tough. I've got a YouTube backlog of videos that I need to put out. Just Brewing put out a video today. Yeast and the Bees put out a video, or maybe a day or two ago. But I've just got a serious backlog that I just feel like I'm being a piece of shit, man, to the homebrew community right now. But let me clean my house. I'll just clean everything and then just spend a couple hours looking at some stuff and get some motivation to start brewing and filming stuff myself, man. What up, Nick Smith? Hey, what's up with Brian, man? Any update with Short Circuited?
Brian, I was going to ping him again for the 3rd time this summer to see if he's still going to get back. I don't know. And he's busy with his job, he says,
Yeah.
but I mean, so am I. That's why I haven't been putting out videos in 3.5 years very often either. But at some point, you either have just stopped or you're going to start again. I mean, I'm kind of worried that I think he might have just stopped.
Yeah, because it's been what, maybe 6 months now?
Yeah, January, maybe February. At
What are we
latest.
in now? What month is it?
August.
Damn,
Yeah.
dude. Look at these, man. We're gonna be doing NBC here pretty soon, man. Much love to Tom Alvarado, man. Cheers, TA, out there in Los Angeles. Hookers and blow, if not buy a beer. Okay, we'll probably go to the latter on that one, but I'll keep that in mind, Brewhouse. Cheers, you barrage.
Look, I'm gonna be honest. I don't really like beer.
Have you heard that song, Hookers and Blow? Hookers and Blow. Hookers and Blow.
I know 2 shots, 1 whiskey and 1 beer. I don't know, maybe it's a remix. Brian had some
remember
mad
who
live
sings
streams. 2 shots, 1 beer. George Thurgood, I think, covered it. I don't think he wrote it,
2
though.
shots, 1 beer.
And 1 whiskey? 2 shots, 1 whiskey?
Yeah, 1 whiskey, 1 shot, 1 beer. I don't remember what it was anymore.
Something like that, man. What up, Brad guy? What's up, Raj? Sunset Hound in the house. No, I want to see Brian back, though, man, because Brian, he was one of those channels I feel like we pushed each other. Like, he put out a video, then I put out a video, or Gina's put out a video, and this guy, it's kind of my turn. Maybe, I don't know, a couple of years ago. But, yeah, his live brew days were fun. Him and his wife, Kelly, down there. That's a tough job, because what do you have? Like 4 guys over when you do your brew days?
Oh, the record was probably nearly a dozen. That one video I did, that one live stream from like a year ago.
Is that too much?
Like last August.
Is that too
It
chaotic?
was a lot of people. Well, because you're trying to host a stream, to host dozens of you guys watching,
Yeah.
while trying to host a dozen people on site and actually accomplish a task.
And now your shit doesn't work. Now your audio isn't working, or someone's saying that your mic is off, or your camera ain't working.
Right. So there's the stream problems, and then you have the brewing problems.
Right.
Oh no, I forgot to add my calcium chloride. Shit.
Right.
Or the food's burning on the grill, Larry. Go outside and check on the food.
Yeah,
So
you do food
running
and
around.
beer.
You're doing too much at once.
You got a lot going on, man. But
Yeah.
it's cool, man. It looks like you guys have a ton of fun. You guys got a good neighborhood watch. A lot of love going on over there. What's someone saying about Brian? Brian,
Yeah,
like the
that's
YouTube
all right.
comment?
Oh, there's comments in here. Oh yeah, I'm
What
not
up,
reading the
G-Funk?
comments.
No,
Yeah.
but I've just been watching everything lately, man. I'm on I watched that Manti Te'o thing yesterday. Have you watched that thing yet?
I'm sorry, you got cut off. What was it?
The Manti Te'o documentary on Netflix. Have you caught up with that yet?
No, I have not. I've not. I didn't know that was even there.
It's good. It's really good. We could talk about that later. But do you remember that thing with the guy who was like the best college football defensive player at Notre Dame, and then he was talking about how his grandmother and girlfriend had passed away in the same day, and then they found out a couple weeks later he never met the girlfriend and it was all hoax.
Yes.
Yeah, so check that out. It doesn't matter if you're into football or Notre Dame or not. There's a lot going on in that, and it's very good PR for Manti Te'o. But
That's interesting. I should go look that up.
no, look it up if you have Netflix. It was awesome. Catfished, yeah. Am I the only one here in crackling from CH Mike? Let me double check really fast. Let's go to
His mic sounds fine to me, but
my mic sounds
I don't
good.
know.
Let me see it on this end. Let's go to
So his mic sounds fine to me, but
my mic sounds good. Let me see it on this end.
Oh, I hear my.
Mine
voice
might just be
echoing
turned up a little bit.
there. Yeah.
Here, let me turn it down. Let me kill this a little bit. I think I just might be talking too damn loud again and just distorting everything.
So I got a question about which stogie I'm smoking. It was just an Alec Bradley.
Is that
I don't
the
know. Yeah.
is that the Fidel Castro ones or what? Is it better now, Miso honey?
Nah, this is just a $6 stogie. It's not anything fancy.
What does that
I
last? Half hour?
Well, actually, no. I'm talking and chatting probably an hour at least, if not a couple.
you're
I mean, I'll nurse it.
You're gonna rip through a
I'm
couple.
not.
Thanks,
Me,
Austin.
I don't inhale it in
Right.
like an hour like some guys I've seen do.
Yeah, that's how I don't know how to smoke a cigar, because I inhale everything. Cigarettes, weed.
And then you get dizzy, and then you get like nauseous. Well, not from the weed, but from the stogie.
I don't know
Yeah.
how to smoke a cigar. I wish I could. I know they're appealing. Let me get some salt on this Modelo. I just ripped the things too damn hard. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. Whoa.
Well, I try to keep it down to like one a week, but this is going to be 2 for me now, probably, or 3.
Yeah. How's everything going in Chicago, IL land?
Well, honestly, it's freaking hot and humid in August, like it always is around here.
Yeah.
I don't mind heat as long as it's dry. That's why I like the drier desert or higher mountain dry climates. Like in like the Rockies, let's say, or out in Arizona. I know it's hot out there, but man, I mean, to have it hot and humid is just brutal. I mean, I got 2 fans on me right now, here and here, because I'm out my garage, and I got my doors open.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it because I have sound blankets hanging around me to help keep these cicadas at bay, so I don't have to hear them on the microphone here.
I finally know what cicadas are. I finally learned what that was last week. I haven't seen one, but they're impossible not to hear.
Oh, they're loud, especially when they all start singing together. And man,
Are they singing? Are they having sex? Is it mating season? Are they looking for food?
That's all they do. They come out from the ground once every X number of years, and then they fuck and suck and go back underground again.
And that's how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, cicadas. They're what, like the size of a butterfly?
There's different species, but the ones that I've been do I have something for reference here. So I got my iPhone. Got my iPhone here. So they're about that big.
How do you spell cicada? Because I've never even seen a dead one.
It's a cicada. CICADA. CICADA.
Cicada sound. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's look at these little punks.
I mean, they're ugly. They look like they're from Mars.
Yeah, the big red eyeballs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Damn, they are ugly. Ew.
Yeah, and so we're due here in Northern Illinois next spring, in 6 months or so, is when the 17-year brood is coming out, and that's going to be like walking on carpet of cicadas everywhere you go. You'll be crunching them on the sidewalks, on your driveways, everywhere you go.
Man.
But yeah, exactly. But they come out. Some of them come out the year before.
Yeah.
Early because they're not synced right with the rest of them.
Yeah.
So all what we're hearing now is just that preliminary.
Look, I'm gonna be
early
honest.
arrival
I don't really
ones.
like beer that much.
So next year it'll be even worse.
Damn. Yeah, I hear them every night, man. They are loud. Whether it's I'm down the street or I'm across the Tennessee River or right by my house, these cicada things are no joke.
So the analogy.
At them. It's gross.
So the analogy to the cicadas where you live in the Knoxville area is that they got tree frogs that do the same thing, right?
Yeah, I've heard that. I heard that last week just as well. Yeah, but I have not seen them yet. I've seen beavers and not honey badgers. What's the other one? Not a beaver, not a badger. Woodchucks. Woodchucks. There's woodchucks out here. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know, man. We're hanging out. I've got literally nothing written down tonight. We're just hanging out. I see Smoked and Fermentables is in here. What's up, Raj? Let us know in the comment what you're drinking, what you're singing, what you're drinking tonight. If anybody's got any question, throw it in the chat. If me and Larry are just shooting the shit and someone wants to ask a question about beer, I'm sure the chat will get to you. And shout out to everyone that's here. And shout out to Jorge Castro, who was here last week. And Ollie Oz and Noam always, man.
Look, I'm going to be honest. I don't really like beer that much.
Thanks for coming, everyone. Yeah, I'm just scrolling back, looking at some of the comments now. I got people saying they brewed this beer of mine, that beer of mine, Dragon's Milk, Munich Dunkels. Mm-hmm. All good beers. I'm going to be brewing that Dragon's Milk clone with some tweaks probably in about a month from now. Like right after my party is over, my Oktoberfest party is done and all my beer is consumed. I'm going to brew a double batch, like a 10-gallon batch of that beer with some vanilla bean and a little bit more oak and bourbon added to it this time around. And I'm going to have a 10-gallon supply that will last me more than a month and a half, like the last year's 5-gallon batch did. Yeah, this stuff's good.
Is it a stout?
Yeah, it's a bourbon barrel-aged stout, right? Like any other examples, like Goose Island, not Goose Island.
Don't say Goose Island.
Yeah. There's here. Hold on a minute.
Barbecue Larry, ever use fresh wet hops from Chris Vodka? I don't know if you can still hear me if you're away from your computer, Larry.
I hear you. I'm wearing the headphones.
Oh, there you go.
So here's like the kind of beer. I don't know if you can see the label clearly.
Okay.
So that's a Goose Island Bourbon County Stout. So that's kind of what the style generally is. But anyway, it's a really heavy alcoholic, really bourbon-esque, oaky, really delicious winter beer. Yeah, totally. I can't wait.
What yeast are you going to use?
Oh, shoot. You know what? It's in my recipe. I don't remember what it is right now. But honestly, I might have to change recipes. So it's okay. So a couple of weeks ago, I was shopping for ingredients for this Oktoberfest beer I'm making or made already. And I pulled up my old recipes. I was just going to brew another batch, right? And it turns out all of my local homebrew shops, all three of them in my area, have switched over from.
What's cool? You have three.
Yeah, they switched brands from the Y Yeast the W Yeast brand over to Omega Yeast.
Okay.
Because Omega is made here in Chicagoland, here in Chicago.
Yes.
While the Y Yeast is from Washington State, I think.
Okay.
And so I was talking to the owners of each of these shops. I'm like, why are you guys completely going away from the Y Yeast? I have all my recipes are largely based upon yeast from that brand. And they said, well, it costs them $100 in shipping for a case of yeast, while Omega only charges them $20 in shipping because they're just basically in the suburbs here, right? So I had to like reformulate my recipes using new yeast. So I'm using new yeast from Omega. So that new beer this fall, I'm going to probably have to pick it in an Omega brand yeast to replace what I used last time. And that's part of the hobby, right? Trying something new.
Sure. I don't know too much about the Omega yeast. I've used like 3 or 4 of them. It's been a while. But do they even have what you're kind of looking for?
Well, that's the problem because the homebrew stores are all currently switching over. So they have old inventory of the Y yeast and some of the Omegas. So they had neither strain that I needed for my Oktoberfest. So I actually had to settle on another Omega strain that was, I think it was a Bach yeast rather than a Bavarian lager yeast, I think it was. But they do have a Bavarian lager yeast. It's just it's just hard to find because they've all been bought out. I think they all sold out because it's the time of year where everybody's brewing this stuff. So it's supply and demand, I guess.
Well, at least you have 3 homebrew stores. I've got one over here, and it's pretty funky. And the ones in San Diego are very hit or miss. I mean, you talk to Trent. As far as North County goes, I think Homebrew Mart is still downtown. That's the original Ballast Point one. But as far as North County goes, Carlsbad, Oceanside, Encinitas, it is bare bones for what you can get. So that's rad that you have 3 in your local area.
Yeah. So I always buy my ingredients locally because of that, right? I don't want them to close, right? I want some variety.
Yeah.
So I pay a little more sometimes. I've never bought anything online that was an ingredient. I buy equipment online, obviously. I get stuff sent to me for free, obviously, now because of this
Northern
YouTube
Brewer.
stuff. Sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, and actually, I don't even use Northern Brewer, honestly.
Todd doesn't hit you up?
Well, he did about 1.5 years or so ago, and but honestly, by the time I think about brewing beer, it's like 2 days before I'm going to brew, and they don't ship that stuff overnight, right? So
unless you want to pay $30.
Yeah, so I just go to my local homebrew store. I just support them, you know.
That's good. Good for you. That's good. That's good practice. That's just a good thing. I mean, if you have the option to have a local homebrew store, and you know they actually have a decent amount of hops and yeast and stuff like that, just stuff outside of base malt, always spending money there because they're not making money. They're not doing hot.
No, they're not doing hot, and that's so I just give them my money for the ingredients. I pay a little bit more for it, but there's been so many days where I'll wake up on brew day and find out that my yeast is like kaput, or I'm missing an extra ounce of hops that I didn't estimate I needed. So I can rush out to the store and come back in the same day. I can't do that through like mail order, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's the advantage. Yeah.
Matt's got a comment here. My local homebrew store is probably going to be closing because the owner is opening a brewery. That's not a bad story. Shit, I'd rather open up a brewery than a homebrew store any day of the week. But Peter from Genus, when people ask him about opening up a homebrew store in here, he just says, don't do it. Just don't do it. And I worked at a homebrew store, and it was a homebrew store / brewery, and it's difficult. It's difficult because I was also the beer tender, the bartender, and you got 10 people that want beers, and you can turn over draft beer really fast. And then, you know, a guy who's new to homebrewing comes in, he just wants to ask you a million questions. And like, hey, man, I can't really talk about switching from extract to all grain for 45 minutes right now. I've got people at the bar. It would have just been a lot easier if we didn't even have the homebrew store. Unless you want to have 2 guys on, and you know, and then California minimum wage is $4,000 an hour. So it's like, are you really making money as an owner now because you got to have 2? You know, your labor just doubled.
Yeah, right. I mean, the cost, the margins are pretty thin because they're trying to compete with the online stuff, right? And I mean, that's like every store, but
yeah, and more specifically homebrewing, because people, like, you can always buy stuff cheaper online. You could always buy stuff cheaper on Amazon or whatever, eBay or whatever the hell. People go into a homebrew store because they want to ask a million questions, and they do want to have an experience, you know. Mm-hmm. But you need to have more than 1 people on, or else that tasting room is going to be a serious logjam. Best homebrew supply store started as breweries. Ballast Point.
Yeah, well, there's one here. One of the 3 local ones here in a suburb called St. Charles. They used to be a homebrew shop only, and then they eventually now they kind of rebranded themselves as a wine and beer tasting bar. In this touristy area where people shop and drink and go out to dine and stuff. So they moved their home brewing stuff from the front of the store into like this back corner, like hidden behind a partition wall. It's almost like you're like sneaking back there, like you're being naughty and dirty, trying to look through all their wares.
Like the 90s.
While everyone's drinking wine.
Yeah, the porno curtain back there.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. That's what it felt like.
Blockbuster music porno curtain. You know what's crazy is that when I first got into brewing, there was a homebrew store actually where my buddy Maury worked at. He was there for like 5 years. The majority of what they made their money off wasn't beer stuff. It was also, remember that show Weeds with Kevin Nealon on HBO or Cinemax or Showtime? Yeah. So that show kicked off this whole trend of everybody trying to grow weed inside. Everybody wanted to grow weed from that. And weed was still...
It's that easy, huh? Let's do it.
It's probably like a homebrew thing. You know, indoor weed, there's obviously a lot more upfront costs with indoor lighting and stuff like that, but a lot less room for error because obviously the number one thing with growing anything is insects. So you probably have a lot more control over that if you're doing it in your closet or your.
Oh, I know a lot of people who are doing it inside. Yeah, a lot of people.
Yeah, and they sold it never as weed, right? We're just growing indoor tomatoes, but that place made a ton of money for a couple of years, and that show kicked that whole trend off. Everybody was getting into weed, and now there's a million dispensaries on every corner, and it's all big business now, and everyone's trying to get the rights to. At least in California, and it's expensive. It's kind of like a liquor license thing, but even more difficult. But
yeah, you're right. It's the same thing here in Illinois. It's a very expensive license, and they only issue so many, and you have to know people and grease some palms and suck some, in order to get one.
Yep. And sooner or later, it's all just going to end up like not Costco's and Amazons and stuff like that, but the big people with money will control all of the weed for the local area in whatever state they're at, because states are kind of like alcohol. They can kind of control their own jurisdiction with cannabis.
You know what's cool though? There's the closest homebrew shop to me of the three that are around here. It's called Brew and Grow.
Is that the best one?
And well, they have pros and cons to them, but half their business is hydroponics and growing mediums
That's what I'm talking about
and things. And wink, wink. Right. It's not for growing tomatoes.
Indoor tomatoes.
And the other half is.
Indoor tomatoes
for growing beer.
IPA. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's funny.
So you go to the store and you're buying your beer ingredients on one aisle, and to the other aisle is all the weed growing ingredients and all the fertilizers and all the lights and the grow tents and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And then for whatever, I think the weed just got legalized, and it just put pretty much a lot of places out of business because people didn't want to go through the hassle anymore how long does it take to grow weed? Like 2 months from like germinating a seed, putting it.
It's 8 weeks.
It's 8 weeks.
It's 8 weeks. 8 weeks, and you can get a bigger harvest than you can outside. And it takes 4 months outside.
That's with everything. Yeah. That's with drying it out. That's with trimming it. You're smoking bud after 8 weeks.
Well, no, not quite, because
from seed to glass,
is the harvest time.
Grain to glass, from seed to blunt.
8 weeks to harvest time generally, if you use nutrients and good lighting and everything. This is what I hear. I've never done it myself.
Right. Wink, wink. Yeah. We're live. What's the red button mean? Because a lot of this stuff goes hand in hand. Like a lot of the, learning about nitrogen and all this green thumber stuff. Homebrewers took this from people that were homebrewers took a lot of this shit from green thumbers, like yeast energizer and yeast nutrient and DAP and diammonium phosphate and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay.
And it kind of goes hand in hand a little bit.
Yeah, it's a challenging hobby. It's like
seed
cooking.
To blunt.
It's like any hobby where you make something that you consume: beer, food, weed, whatever.
Time, effort,
patience, effort, interest. And
passion
and a challenge, and a challenge that like gets you passionate about solving the challenge. Like, how do I do this? And you start learning about it, and you try it, and you have a little bit of success, just enough to keep you interested. So you learn a little more, and you do a little more, and you get a little better, right?
That's a pretty interesting conversation, because I would bet that marijuana filters out a lot more people than like people brewing for their first time and people growing weed for their first time. I would imagine that brewing is a lot easier and cheaper. Yeah. So kind of back to what we were saying, it's like you can't really fuck up your first 3 batches of growing weed. You're talking 8 weeks minimum. If you've had 30 or 3 bad batches, you're probably out. You're probably done by then. So they've got to really kind of hone their shit in, I think there's probably more room for error with brewing your first batch of beer just based off temperature control, maybe with older style yeast and stuff like that. But one of the biggest things is just not giving up those first 3 batches. And again, I've got a million friends that used to grow weed and stuff like that, but I've never done it by myself outside of I used to germinate some seeds, put them in a sponge, wait till the tail kicked out, and then my buddies would tell me what to buy, Fox Farm, whatever, with high nitrogen, and I'd grow weed, but it was like a male plant all 3 times. And I was like, there's no fucking way on planet Earth I have 3 seeds and I grew male plants like this. And you know what? I quit. That was it. You know what? I'm just going to buy my weed from here on out. And I was so proud of this plant. And I didn't know it was a male until it didn't grow any weeds. So it got really high, and I would take my empty trash cans, I'd put them over it upside down when the landlord would come by, and I was like, dude, all this work and all this paranoia, and we didn't get to smoke one fucking bong rip out of this thing. I'm just going to go buy weed. And at that time in NorCal, the dispensary thing kind of hit there first before it hit SoCal, because NorCal is just like Mendocino County and Eureka and Humboldt and all that stuff. So it's just like, you got to really kind of like fuck up to get in trouble for marijuana up there. You have to be moving like a lot, you know, because most people are like, hey, this is, come on, man, this is the Bay Area. But no, that was it for me. And you know what? I'll probably never grow weed ever again. Maybe, I mean, never say never, but
it's a diminishing returns because, like you said, there's a lot of equipment and time and energy, and when you can just go out on the street and buy it, but you get into it for the same hobby that people do beer. It's like, you go buy beer, but you can make better beer at home.
Right. Yeah. And it's just cool. Yeah. It's another pride of ownership thing too. You know, my buddies, and in all honesty, like weed got too gnarly for me. My friends that are really into weed know all like the purple yellow strains and the Black Widow and the purple Oracle. I'm like, I don't need that shit anymore, man. I want like the outdoor stuff from Mexico where I can actually smoke it and enjoy this concert without thinking that everyone's going to beat the shit out of me, because it just got way too strong. Marijuana just got so strong, and if you lose your immunity to it, you need to really build that back up again.
Yeah,
homegrown for life. Hey Larry, hold it down. I'm gonna go get a beer. You got this?
I'll be back. And then come on back, and then I'll get a beer.
Sounds good.
All right, let's take a look at some of the questions here. I saw your comments all, but we're talking and it's hard to read and talk at the same time. So let's see here. Let's see, go back a ways. The question about whole cone hops and wet hops, I typed my answer in there, Chris, but that's all I used to use when I first started brewing was whole hops, because that's what the homebrew stores had. And then the pellets came along, and then I used the pellets for bittering and the whole cone for dry hopping. And then now I can't even find whole cone hops anywhere anymore. I go to the homebrew store, they never got them. It's always pellets or the cryo little things with the little dropper and stuff. It's like I kind of miss the old-fashioned whole hops thing. So, and the wet hops I did with Mike and Paul here. Mike, I think Paul's on. He commented here, so he's watching or was watching. I was up at his house in Wisconsin a couple of years ago, and we filmed a little video. Yeah, and we did some wet hopping from his backyard. Oh, look at that!
I'm back.
What is that there? Pink lemonade?
Session sour. Yeah, it's delicious. Yeah, it's definitely a lawnmower beer. And I'll tell you what, man, I'm done buying any other glass in my entire life than just these pint glasses, because I've broken everything so far. The tulips, the FUPA glasses, they suck to clean.
They're hard to get in there.
They're hard to get in there. They break in the dishwasher. I'm just sticking with this from here on out. Pint glasses. Cheers, everybody. Session sour.
I want to get me a beer now.
Yeah, get in there.
Box shape Brewery.
What's up?
I'm going to have you a whiskey. I'll be right back.
Dude, I'm jealous, man. I don't think I've had hard alcohol in my house yet. FUPA glasses. Yeah, sorry. Short-circuited. I broke that glass. I was bummed. I'm trying to clean it, and I just broke it.
Wow.
What up, Gnomski? What up, Chris Radiation? Matt Mustaine, man. It's been a little bit. Hope you're well, Braj.
Back off, war child.
English pint glasses are the best. I agree with that as well. The one that's got the little hump on the side.
Wow.
You ever use whole cone hops? I don't think so.
Sure. I'm back. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're good, brother.
I got a little ice ball, little cup thing here.
Nice.
And now I got to top it up with my favorite bourbon.
What do you got?
Woodford? It's a Woodford Reserve Double Oak. It's actually not my favorite. It's actually my second favorite. My favorite is Blanton's, and I can't ever find Blanton's. And when I do find it, it's like to me, it's like the best Kentucky bourbon out there. But the problem is again, it's hard to find because it became so popular that now stores can't keep it in stock.
What's the price tag?
Well, it used to be about $50 10 years ago. Now it's like going for 75 and 80 because of the supply and demand.
Yeah, I hear that, man. What's up, Last Beer? What's going on, brother?
Salute.
Yes, Patrick Sandy. Patrick Sandy brews his own or distills his own whiskey.
Look, I'm gonna be honest.
You know what? I'm going
really
out to Asheville for my third time. Cheers, Larry. Cheers, brother. I'm glad you're here, Larry.
Yep.
Always a pleasure. I'm going out to Asheville for my third time. I know Kyle has got to have some moonshine back there. I know he's got to. So,
well, if they a distilling company that became a brewing company,
yes.
I mean, isn't that their whole bread and butter was distilling?
Exactly. And the guy who's coming out there has a distilling channel. He's got a great channel. Shout out to Jesse from Still It in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Good people.
New Zealand. So he's traveling all the way to Asheville just to have some American whiskey.
Yeah, I think so. Get over here. And I don't know what we're gonna do, but hopefully I can have a video out by then. I've got a San Diego vlog that I was gonna like kind of make it not political, but I guess it was gonna be kind of political in a couple ways, but I think I'm like gonna go back and just take some of that stuff out.
A vlog, huh?
Well, yeah, like just a travel vlog. Like I was in Europe a little bit ago, and then I was in Austin. But yeah, I don't know. Like if I want to do the vlog where I should just talk about kind of like the fall of the San Diego beer scene or breweries that went out of business that all got me into craft beer, like the Stones and the Ballast Points and the Green Flashes and now I guess Modern Times. Or if I didn't want to kind of make it more, kind of just make fun of my buddies or just the state of California. So I'm going to just take a little bit out, work on a little bit. But at least 50% of the video we'll be talking about how, like in 2010, it really was like a new California gold rush with people getting into the beer scene and anything kind of goes. You didn't need the nicest shit. And now 13 years later, it's a very gnarly gamble. If you want to open up a brewery in San Diego, it is probably I think most dangerous city to open up a brewery in because there's just so much competition. You know, like Knoxville, we have 1/10 of San Diego's population. There's almost 200,000 people here. San Diego almost has 2 million, but there's 30 more times breweries in San Diego than Knoxville. So like the per capita is way better in Knoxville if you were to open up a brewery.
It's like 6 times better in Knoxville per capita than, if I'm getting the math right, you said 200,000 versus a million. That's like 1/5. And then 30 divided by 5 is 6. So 6 times the opportunity.
So,
I don't know.
10 times more people in San Diego, but also not 10 times 20, but 30 times more breweries.
Wow. Yeah.
So it's way more diluted up there. Down here, it's just a lot more concentrated. And I think by the end of the year, they're saying there's only going to be about 29 breweries in Knoxville. So I'm trying to figure out just kind of the whole like San Diego.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a great idea still to open up breweries. And we were in Austin 2 weeks ago with Gnome and Aliaz. There was some phenomenal breweries. And they were new. And I just don't really know how it works anymore, but I just know that the bubble bursting and oversaturation is your number one factor of the competition, of not succeeding. You know, like I said, back in the San Diego 2008, 2009, 2010 days, like the beer sucked. They called it craft beer, but there was no competition. So there was only like 4 or 5 places we would go, and it was cool. They were making money. Mm-hmm. There was really companies that were like forging ahead and had investors and blew up really fast, like Green Flash.
Yeah.
And now it's just kind of like, it's just weird. Like you hit the ground running with hard seltzers. You can't, some breweries hit the ground running still with like 10 IPAs on. It's like, I think people need to start working backwards. Like when we were in Austin last week or 2 weeks ago, the breweries we were at, they had coffee. They had stages outside. They had shit going on for the kids. They had this and that. And I'm almost thinking like, it's not even about making beer anymore for the beer drinker. Because you're always going to get those. Like I'm going to make a brewery. I'm going to start a brewery. And I'm going to gear it towards the person that does not want to be there. The person that comes in that's like, they don't go to breweries. How do we make a brewery for them? Well, hey, let's try to get wine. Let's try to get maybe coffee, some ambiance, maybe some live music, something like that. Because the beer people will always show up, right? Mm-hmm. It's not who you have to worry about. It's the people that, I don't know, get a younger crowd. I don't know. I'm looking at all my footage right now of the breweries in Austin that were successful, and I'm like just thinking like, what were they doing? And granted, if you go there on a Friday or Saturday night, they're going to be busy. You know, it's not going to be like that on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. But you just got to be way more strategic now. And back in San Diego, back in the day, it was like, hey, my dad has $100,000. Your dad can lend you $100,000. We own breweries now. Like, hell yeah. Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. It's like, no, that day is over. Yeah. That day is over in San Diego. That day can still work in a lot smaller cities. But, yeah, San Diego is it's a ballsy place to open up a brewery.
I don't really like beer.
Yeah, well, I like Knoxville's brew pub scene. I mean, I've been there many times.
It's the shit, man. What do you know about Knoxville? You, what was your favorite?
Well, it's been 4 years since I last been there bar hopping because I switched jobs because I used to work there occasionally.
Okay.
But there was, I used to stay. The hotels were like in the West Knoxville area.
Okay, I'm Turkey old Creek. Knoxville. Okay, yeah, that's kind of a nicer area.
Turkey Creek. Look, So that's really generally where I worked. So I usually hung around that area, but I have some friends there who live south of Knoxville, like just south of the city. They're on the main road down to Sevierville. And
Sevier, that's where that's like literally a mile from my house. That's just south of the Tennessee River.
Okay, well then I know the area kind of. I mean, not great, and so I've been all over. But usually when I go to those places, my friends would be the ones escorting me around. So I can never ever even remember all the places. But there was one place in Knoxville that was kind of cool. It was kind of like an outdoor brew pub, like they had a courtyard.
Schultzbrow. Was it all German?
I don't remember. I just remember that they had fire pits and like cornhole and all kinds of other shit going on, and like the beer was there, but it was like an outdoor gathering. It was kind of cool. Can't remember what it was called though.
Well, 4 years ago is a long time, and I think
things come and go. They open and close. Yeah,
and I think that the breweries I go to aren't even at their 4-year anniversary yet. But like I know Zool's one of the big one, XUL Zool, and they're only a couple years old, so it wouldn't have been that. They're making a ton of money. They're making more money than Fort Knox. Schultzbrow would probably have to have been there. If you look them up, it's got kind of like a medieval times kind of Prague vibe, but it's all Hellas's and Hefts and Dunkels and Kolsch's. It's all you're not going to get an IPA there. I mean, you are. They'll do third-party taps, but they're never going to brew their own hoppy beers. It's all old school style. Awesome. It fits their theme. It's total Jim Carrey, medieval times, cable guy. It's awesome. Yeah.
Michelle Jost, whoever that scene was.
Yeah. Red team's going down. Down. Yeah.
I love that movie, man.
Yeah. When he's trying to,
we have a medieval times here near my house.
I've never been to one, man.
Whenever I see that scene in Cable Guy, I always cry laughing.
He's re-quoting the Captain Kirk and Spock.
It's like,
fight
if I don't kill each other, they will kill us both.
One of us has to die.
I feel like a nerd because I knew exactly which Star Trek episode they were referring to when they were mocking it. It's called A Mock Time.
That's before my time, man.
It was before my time, but I watched reruns growing up, and I was like, I know that scene. Captain Kirk and Spock were actually fighting with these pugil sticks.
Yeah.
And they're like, and so they played that. I mean, it was cheesy and stupid. I mean, just like the rest of the show, but I remembered it. So when that cable guy scene shut up, man, I was in tears because I was rolling the floor laughing, and people around me going, "What's so funny?" It's like, I'm showing my dorkiness, aren't I? Because I know exactly which episode.
No, that movie's awesome, man. Cable Guy's one of my top 10, man. And I've never been to medieval times, man. And much love, Noam. I saw that membership, man. Thank you, Noamski. Come on down. What's the deal with medieval times? Can you just walk in, or is there set shows? Is there like
No.
a Shamu, a 5 o'clock and a 7 o'clock?
Yeah. There's like performance times 5, 7, 9. I don't know how many they have. It's like 2 a night at least or something, or maybe more on the weekends. But it's very expensive, and they
Like $100
seat you. Well, I don't know about now. The prices may be way higher than I'm even imagining they used to be. But they give you some crappy food for it. They don't give you any napkins. They want you to eat the shit with your hands and stuff because it's all but it's greasy freaking fried chicken and stuff. And then they do all this jousting in the ring. But you start smelling horse shit, and now you don't want to eat the food.
Ah, man.
I
remember that joke from Cable Guy when she's like, "Oh, you're supposed to eat with your hands." But he's asking for Diet Coke. He's like, "Oh, you didn't have Western utensils back in the day, but you're giving me Coke and Pepsi." He's like, "Come on, man! I'm just trying to do my job, man."
That waitress was Janine Garofalo,
comedian.
Yeah, I remember.
In some old school Ben Stiller movies. And quick shout out to V Wavevator Super Chat. Thank you for your videos to help inspire us wannabe brewers, man. Much love, V-Dub. That's your new name from here on out. It's V-Dub. What up, Chalky White? Good to see the brew show still in here, man.
Mm-hmm.
Tis but a scratch. Patrick Shaney knows what's up. Hey, I'm looking at the Omega website right now, and there's way more yeast than I thought. There's a bunch of
they've grown. I mean, they have a lot of strains. They used to be
British
focused
1,
on the
British 2, British 4, British 5. OLY 13, British 6. It's like goddamn Final Fantasy up here. British Ale 8, Cosmic Punch, double IPA. Yeah,
they
this
have
is
a
way
lot
more
of
than I thought.
Kvike strains. I mean, they have a lot of the Kvike
yeah, they got a lot of
strains.
They got
a bunch of them, like a dozen.
Yeah, they're up there. Maybe not so much with White Labs, but there's a lot. I'm still scrolling. They've got a ton of Belgian stuff. Abbey ALC, Abbey Ale1. I'm not really too much of a Belgian guy. Okay, here we go. American Lager, American Pilsner, Bavarian Lager. Yeah, I don't remember these guys having this much at all. Brett's Blends of Bacteria. I put the link in the chat. Oh, I wanted to get this Lacto one time. I thought it was like their version of Philly Lallemand Philly Sour, but it's not. With the witch on here, with this old dude. Lavella Lactobacillus brevis.
What was it? Lactose what?
No, I'll put it in the chat now. I remember I wanted to make a video on this one time, but this was kind of like when my mind was made up to leave California. What do we got here? Isolated collaboration. The sour is efficient. Higher no end. Do not sour above 95. So this is like just their version of lactobacillus. This isn't a yeast. I don't think.
Oh, it's just a bacteria. It's lactobacillus.
Yeah.
In fact, you just want to
infect
doing that. So here's some crossovers we were talking about earlier about crossover hobbies. Like, so right now I am using lactobacillus to ferment some hot peppers in my basement right now. So I got two big ball jars with airlocks on them, just like you were making a yeast starter.
Okay.
But I got habaneros and hot peppers and stuff, and I'm using the actual lactobacteria to ferment them, just like I do a Tabasco sauce. In about a month or two, I'll open it up and I'll strain it and turn it into a sauce.
I'm digging that, Larry.
Yeah.
Someone just became a member up here. Much love, Raj. Northwest Small Batch Brewing, much love. Hey, Larry, I got a question for you. You're probably the guy that's going to know this. Can you make ceviche with kettle sour?
Ceviche, you mean like shrimp?
Yeah, could you put kettle sour in shrimp and let the acid cook it and then just maybe strain it out? Have you ever done that?
Oh, no, I haven't. I know they use like lemon juice, right? Normally, is that what you normally use?
Yeah, you cook it with acid. You cook it with acidity. Yeah. So,
yeah. No, I never thought about that. I don't know if it's acidic enough. I mean, I know lemon juice. I mean, it's like pretty low pH.
It's low pH, but it's kind of a dumb idea because why wouldn't you just cook it with lemon when it's a lot cheaper than making kettle sour beer? But it could be a cool YouTube video. Hey, today we're gonna actually cook ceviche with beer. How are we gonna do it? We're going to take this shitty Flanders or this whatever that's 3.2%. Yeah. CH looks like the type of guy who orders ceviche. That's the nicest thing anybody's ever said to me in my entire life. I love ceviche with all my heart, unless it's got too much unless it doesn't have not enough avocado in it. But some people put way too much cucumber and ceviche and it fucks it up.
Look, I'm gonna be
I prefer
honest.
my
I don't
shrimp
really
in the
like beer
shell
that
on the
much.
grill with some garlic and some butter or something on it. But
I hear that.
that's how I prefer. That's how I go. Or I'll do a shrimp gumbo or a shrimp bisque or something. You know, mix it with other stuff.
Oh yeah.
But
Nah, I gotta get my shit going over here. I gotta get my brew thing set up. I've got to get my small little Weber at the least amount of, I don't need a smoker like Alias. I just need something out here to get my channel going again, man. At least a goddamn crock pot. Just crock pot's the easiest thing of all time. Just put the chuck in there. All you need is some onions. All you need is some carrots and a bottle of shitty red wine. Yeah.
Yep, throw it in there, or just some broth, even
some broth, some bouillon cubes, and just put it over some. I'm a big sucker for the prepackaged mashed potatoes, like the ones you
like the dried flakes.
Yeah, like get a pint of beer, put it on high, kill it, and stir the shit in, and then just put your crock pot stuff over that. It's delicious. Yeah. What's up?
Oh, I used to eat potato.
Brew this, man.
Instant mashed potatoes. Is that about like those
box
of flakes?
Yeah.
Oh man, I haven't had that since I was a kid.
Dude, check it out. I'll be right back. Are you kidding me? Or are you kidding me?
No, it's been a while. Let's see. Wow, yeah, lime juice is 2 to 3 pH. Yeah. So, the sourest kettle sour Chris Reddy's made, it was 3.2. That's pH, right? He said. That's probably good enough, I imagine. I don't know. I always get a little worried about. This is kind of my own dilemma. Shrimp ceviche kind of worries me that you're cooking with acids, but yet I eat sushi. But at sushi restaurants, they actually cook the shrimp, so there's probably some risk about parasites or something, I imagine.
All right, Larry, here we go.
Hey, come on back.
All right, here we go. We got buttery home style. You pick your poison, man. You got to get down with the Idahoan. Take one bite of this, Larry, and you'll fall in love with them all over again. But this is the shit that killed Elvis right here. It's the baby reds. See that one?
Oh, okay.
All right. Crock pot. Put whatever's in there and just put it all over this, man. And you are a happy camper, and you didn't spend that much money, bro.
Oh, that's not bad at all. I mean, I'm sure the quality has improved over the years because when I was a kid, that stuff was so lumpy. You mix it in with the water in the pot, and then it's just all clumpy and.
It's got a born-on date. Yeah, we'll let you tell about it. Idaho potatoes.
It's kind of like what frozen pizzas used to be back in the 80s, and they're much different today.
Yeah,
right?
Everything got a lot better. Yeah, everything got a lot better. Idahoan instant potatoes IPA. No, but I want to get some food going on the channel again, man. Your channel makes me jealous. What was your last Italian beef sandwich? What was your last real cooking video?
That was probably my last one, I guess.
It was like a month ago?
Beef sandwich. Yeah, it was like a month ago, and I did something about blanching corn, but that's not a complete video. That was just a technique. That was something cool to show off. Look, I'm using my homebrewing equipment to blanch like 50 ears of corn in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It was crazy. You put the basket in the hot boiling water, you count the 5 minutes, you pull it out, you put it in the bucket in the other brew kettle of ice water and just chill it right away. It was like the coolest thing. Because I used to do it like a la carte on my stovetop with my smaller homebrew kettle on my stove, and I'd have a big bowl of ice or a bucket of ice, and that was like you would do it in batches, and it would take 45 minutes, and it was just like, ugh. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
You got a lot of cool shit. Like we talked about this last time you were on. Do you recommend that meat slicer?
Oh, the slicer I got?
Yeah, you put it in.
No, I mean, it was a hand-me-down. It was a
$100.
Was it a camp? Probably 125, 150 now. But yeah, I mean, it was probably pretty cheap. It works well enough for some things, but if you're trying to shave it super thin, bacon, beef, whatever, that thing's got too much spring in it. It's like too deflective, so when you go to push the meat across it and you try to force it across that really thin gap of blade, the whole thing bows and actually gives you a thicker piece. And it's like, damn it. So you try to adjust the little setting, and it's like no matter what you do, you can only get it so thin. before it starts to deflect and get thicker again. So
Gotcha.
It's frustrating. That's all. I mean,
we won't talk about the brand or the model number, man. We won't promote it. We won't give it that.
It was like Kitchen Camp Chef or something. I don't know.
Okay, we are going to promote it, man. While you do it, put the Amazon link in there and get your 5% kickback, bro.
No,
I'm kidding.
I would get a better one.
I'm not kidding.
If I could get a better one, I probably could, but it works well enough.
Yeah.
It's like, why spend the extra $200? Because the next tier up are several $100s.
Right.
So,
Yeah. It's kind of like a homebrew system. Like the Northern Brewer extract one's $100, but you want to go up from there, it gets like significantly more expensive.
Yeah, so you just do with what you got. You work with what you got.
But you've got a lot of good information in those videos. I mean, I watched those cooking videos, and you're talking about, letting that stuff sit overnight and the right paper to use and stuff like that, and how to keep the juices and all that stuff in there. So if anybody isn't aware, this is BBQ Larry's Berries, and we have a link to his channel in the description of this video. But he's OG YouTube Grain to Glass Warlord. He's got a Super Bowl commercial.
It was only a small spot. It was a small one, but yeah, that was something.
Yeah, you got a couple bucks for that, right?
Yeah, I got a few $100 from Google for that rights to that, but they didn't tell me what they were going to do with it. I could have asked for more money in hindsight, but it's too late now.
That was like 10 years ago?
Oh, it was several. Yeah, it was a while back. Because
brother.
Yeah, it was a long time ago now.
Larry is a man of many talents. Larry rules. Yes, he does. Chris Vodka. Chris Radiation does Chris Vodka. Chris Radiation. Party Time Brewing. Good to see Party Time in the house, man. He's got a video I got to watch today, too, speaking of backlogs. Larry, do you subscribe to Party Time up there in Nova Scotia?
Yeah, man.
Give his channel.
I apologize. Just like I said with the Tillet channel, I don't watch every single one of everyone's videos. It's just too much.
It's too much. And sometimes I get your comments coming in on my videos, Larry, it's like a month later, and I'm like, I'm appreciative that you watched it, Like,
yeah.
I don't expect to, obviously when you upload a video, that's going to be your highest click-through rate for that day or two. But no, sometimes it takes a while to get around to people's videos, man.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I have a queue of probably a couple hundred videos.
Alias.
Always in my watch later queues, and I
like beer that much.
Sometimes never get around to watching them. After a while, I'm like, look, I'm never going to get to watching this 2-month-old video now. It's kind of like it's old to me. I just start removing them.
I'll tell you the trick to that, though, Larry. So I go to bed, and I leave my phone in the other room, and I pretty much watch YouTube these days, even though I am watching Netflix for the Manti Te'o thing, and I'm watching, I got to start watching Game of Thrones, the new prequel to, or whatever, House of Dragons.
Oh, yeah.
That's the best time to watch YouTube, if you have YouTube on your TV, because you actually watch the video without going back to your phone really fast. You can kind of see, as far as all the videos we do are all tutorials. So you really have to be kind of paying attention. You don't just really want to kind of listen to it in the background. I really kind of want to be watching what people are doing and techniques and new equipment and just new shit, Lacto OL5 605 stuff. And that's the best way to watch it, at least for my ADHD. We all have self-inflicted ADHD to a certain extent, and that's the best way that I watch
to a certain extent. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's all matters of degree, right?
Everyone has different anxieties and ADHD and problems. It's just how you deal with them, which makes people different from other people. I mean, some people have worser ADD than I do, and I have worser than other people. But at the end of the day, like, we all fucking, it's part of life. Staring at phones all day, shit blinging and beeping and going off, and
always constant distractions all day long. Yeah,
all day long, man. OCB ADD IPA. When did Northwest Small Batch Brewing? I think he changed up his name on the fly, man. He just super chatted $5, man. Thank you so much, man. I think we need to chug a beer. What up, Clayton Gerard? There's another Canadian barrage in the house.
Wow.
What up, Dan Johnson? How are you, my barrage?
Poor child, seriously.
Yeah, we're coming up to an hour right now. This is me and Larry. Larry's Berries. Scary's Larry's Berries. Out there in Chicago, IL on the outskirts. And we've been here for an hour, Larry. Does it feel like it?
No, but my ass is starting to feel like it. I'm sitting on this stool that's not very comfortable.
How are those fans working, man? Are the fans doing the job?
Yeah, fans are working. It's cooling down, but now the bugs are coming out. So now I'm swatting away insects left and right.
Well, I can't hear them. We can't hear them, so we're good in that regard. You have to deal with that on your own, man. What up, Alias?
Yeah.
What up, Goose Frob out in Texas?
So speaking of the Game of Thrones, actually, I just got done yesterday rewatching the whole 8 seasons.
So good.
Last night.
So good.
Because because that House of Dragon is starting, and I wanted to go back and watch some of that stuff. Yeah. And so I started going through some of the episodes, and like, you know what? I'm going to watch them all again. So I watched them all again this summer, here and there.
I've done them twice.
And it was so much easier to watch it the second time once you understand the characters and the relations and the because when I first watched it, half of the shit went right over my head. I'm like, who, what, where?
A lot of characters. A lot of characters. Yeah.
But it was good in hindsight. I'm glad I watched it twice, because now that House of Dragon's starting, so now I want to kind of get to that.
Yeah, and I know we kind of talked about this in the beginning of this, but put the Manti Te'o documentary on your radar, because it's up there. I was addicted to that, kind of the same way I was addicted to. Did you ever watch Don't Fuck with Cats, or like the Aaron Hernandez documentary? I think it's all like the same production crew. The music sounds the same, but they do a really good job with it. And sometimes did you watch the Michael Jordan thing, The Last Dance?
Yes, that was awesome.
It was phenomenal. And you know how they do like, it's non-linear. They'll go to here, and then they'll cut back here, and then they'll go to here, and then they'll bring you to 1984, and then they'll bring you back to this. They did that with the Manti Te'o thing.
So is that it there?
Sorta. Yeah.
I'm showing it on the screen.
So good, man. So good.
Cool. Okay.
It's 2 hours. It's 2 hours. It's a documentary, a 2-part documentary. Each video,
I got it.
Each episode's like an hour 10 maybe. But it's very good PR for Manti Te'o. And it's one of those things, kind of like, it made me think about Tiger Woods a lot, because when something fucks with you so hard, remember when Tiger Woods had that affair and the media knew about it? And he never came back from that. So this guy was supposed to be a top 10 draft pick, best defensive player, better than Luke Kuechly, better than some of these other guys. And then he went from hero to zero, and everybody in the world thinks you're a kook. You can't go in, especially being a pro athlete in the NFL, you can't have your confidence shook like that. And it just made me think of Tiger Woods a lot. And the dude was never the same. It's almost impossible to tell. Like, he just could have been a bust, right? Because he got drafted by the Chargers in the second round. He fell in the draft. And he never really did shit. He was on the Saints for a couple of years. He was on the Bears for a year. But he was just kind of maybe like a third down guy. Never a Pro Bowler or AP player, nothing like that. But the dude was on top of his game. Polynesian dude in Notre Dame, which is like, there's one of one. There's a lot of Polynesian people in Hawaii. SC Trojans are on the West Coast. But he went out to Notre Dame because he heard some advice. What is that? Here we go. Check it out, though. I'll leave it at that.
All right. Will do.
Yeah, what do we got there? Is that the Elon Musk flamethrower or what?
It's my bug assault gun.
There we go. Is that for the bugs?
The insects. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Line them up, man. Duck hunt. What up, Jorge Castro?
Wow.
I put up a video earlier of us today, Jorge. Check that one out. It's about, we were talking about when Truly, Truly hard seltzer? Larry's in the zone, man.
Wow.
Larry's in the auto zone.
Just trying to take the sucker out of the air because he's buzzing me. Gotcha.
Did you get him?
Oh, there's 2 of them.
It's like Mr. Miyagi. Mr. Miyagi with the chopsticks. Mr. Miyagi with the chopsticks.
It's a fun little toy, It's like it's like going trap shooting, but in your garage. You don't have to go.
No, it's cool, man. Hey, Larry, what's your take on hard seltzers? Have you ever brewed one, or do you have any interest in them, or is it just too hack?
I think they're gay.
Okay. Tell me how you really feel. I mean, do you
No offense, I'm just saying. It's just I think they're a fad, just like any other fads. They come and go. It's like I'm old enough to know.
Sound clip out of that, by the way. How do you feel
like
about
the
this?
first hard seltzer was from from the 80s called Zima, and only chicks and girly men would drink them.
Okay.
And then so that came and went, and then there was a fad in the 90s and then 2000s. There was like the Mike Hard lemonades, which are okay, but and so those came and went, and so every 5 years there's a new fad around that kind of stuff, and it's just like it'll pass too.
Okay, so me and Jorge Castro, he's in here. He owns Box Lab in Puerto Rico. We were talking about that because the word is hard seltzer. Like the Truly used to be kind of something like that. I mean, what were these things called? Wine coolers or malt beverages? Like what was
malt beverages?
Like Mike's Hard Lemonade. What was that called? A malt beverage?
I think it was labeled a malt beverage.
What was Smirnoff Ice labeled? A malt beverage?
I don't know. I don't know for sure, but I would guess the same.
But it's a weird word because people put malt with the cheap shit. Like I would. When you're thinking of like Old Gravity or Country Club or something, like it's just a weird like malt beverage. It doesn't sound good. But if you take that same product,
malt liquor,
or malt liquor sounds even worse. But if you take that same product and you slap hard seltzer on it, and you take it out of a bottle and you put it in that super slim can now, it's a player. It's
marketing, man. It's marketing.
Totally marketing, man. And if Smirnoff Ice when did they come out? 10, 15 years ago? If they would have done, call it hard seltzer and then put it in that little Red Bull can, and who knows how successful they could have been. And me and Jorge talked about that a week or two ago.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know.
All right, so
I would
doesn't
invest in the business.
Larry doesn't
I mean,
like hard seltzers.
I think they're stupid. I think like they're like shandies. It's not real beer. It's like half lemonade, or wine coolers, or just drink the wine. Why do you have to dilute them with like? I don't know. I'm a traditionalist. I like my whiskey. I like my beer.
2 shots, 1 whiskey, and 1 beer. Heather Sharp wants to know. Hi, Heather. How are you? I know what it is, but Larry, what brand cigar are you smoking?
Right now, this is, I believe I threw the label out, but I think it's an Alec Bradley, some variety of Alec Bradley. I don't know. It's a barber pole. I don't know. I got a bunch of cigars. I just grabbed. Actually, you know what? I got more of them. Hold on a minute.
1 whiskey, 2 shots.
Let's see. It's a what do I got here? I got a whole one here. Oh no! I'm sorry. I was completely wrong. It's not Alec Bradley. This one was actually a Gran Habano. A Gran Habano number 3. If you can, I don't know if you can see that, but.
What camera do you have? I got a Logitech 2922 or something.
Yeah, it's a Logitech 922.
Okay, so we're doing the same one, which pretty much comes down to how big do you want to have it versus how much light do you actually have to showcase, and we're fine with this. This is like a little 5x7 index card.
Yeah, I got the lights. I've only got some overhead lights over my workbench here with an extra light for the complete the shadows.
Yeah,
and I'm out in my dark garage because if I turn more lights on, I get more insects. So that's my limitation here.
You got to find a balance with that. Yeah, you got to find a balance with that.
Smoke backwoods. I don't smoke backwoods much. I do sometimes. It's like a cheap brand of pouch cigar you could get at any local gas station.
Like a Black and Mild?
Flavors. Yeah, I don't think so. I'm not sure if Black and Milds are right now, but it's just like a little paper pouch you buy. They come in the packs of 5. You just rip them off and you pull. Yeah,
same shit. It's all the same shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What do we got here?
Romeo and Julieta. Yeah, I got those here too. In fact, I'm saving them. I'm saving those for Friday night poker games though, because they're nice and long, and they'll last me 4 hours easy.
Damn. Hey Larry, can we chug a beer right now? Do you have a full beer you can chug? All right, man.
I got a whiskey. I don't know. I don't have a beer.
You might have to top it off a little bit more than that. Is that cool? Because you're gonna drink that thing pretty fast. I saw that. I saw that insect come right by, man. Was that one of your cicadians, or what were they called earlier?
Cicadians? No. That's just a fly.
Damn, dude, that thing looks like fucking the flying dog from Neverending Story, man. That thing was huge. Maybe it was just right.
Neverending Story.
Yeah. Here we go, Chris Radiation. What up, Chris? We got a lot of Chris's in here right now. You know, we're up to 70 people right now. Let's pull this back up.
That's actually really good.
No, it is really good for somebody who hasn't put out content in like a month or hasn't brewed in like 17 fucking years. 17 years ago.
That's what it feels like, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it's been a while for you.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Have you brewed on the clawhammer system?
I don't have one.
You never got one? They never hit you up?
Well, I've asked them a number of times if they would,
really?
pass one my way for doing videos on, and they've always declined. So, I don't know.
That's interesting.
But I've got my own brew systems. I don't need another. So it's not like I push the issue.
No, I just wanted to know because that's what I'm going to be brewing on when I come back from my poser hiatus. Homebrew for
very good, very nice.
Once every blue moon.
Yeah, you know what? But I don't know if I would really much enjoy it though. I've seen a lot of people use them online. I'm not a fan of that mesh basket idea because for me they're hard to clean where I live. I don't have a slop sink to hose them out really well. All right. So I'm more of a fan of like the mesh, not the mesh, the
brew in a bag,
like the mesh pipes, like the Grainfather or the Spike Solo has, with the sluts in the bottom that lets it drain. I'm more of, to me, that's easier to clean than those little, because even when I have like a hop spider, right, and just getting the hops out of that thing is such a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
because
we're getting rid of the hop spiders. Noam turned me on to that one. We got another question here, which is probably the worst question of all night. Which president would you want to have a beer and a cigar with? Donald Trump and Joe Biden at the same time in one of those small little 1970s jacuzzis. And I want to have sex with all of them. Larry, what's your answer?
Which president does that have a beer and
Travis
cigar with?
H. Which president would you want to have a beer and a cigar with? Does it have to be an American president?
Oh, that's a good question. Which president would have a beer and cigar with? Yeah, that's a good question.
Donald Trump, Joe Biden, and who's ever in charge of North Korea right now.
Oh, kill Jong Un or whatever. Kim Jong Un, Jill. I don't know. Yeah.
and then the CEO of Budweiser down there in Brazil. That's what I would want to do with my cigar and my beers.
Mm-hmm.
I have no answer for this. I don't know. I'm just
I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know.
What
was that one? That one incident 10 or so years ago when like Obama was president, and
here we go.
He started a whole freaking racial stir up because he made some comment about a friend of his getting harassed by a cop at his house because the cop pulls up and sees this like black professor going into his house or looking in his window, and the cop says, "Hey, who are you? What are you doing here? Is this your house?" And that started this whole brouhaha where Obama stuck his nose out and like got some egg on his face along with it, and in order to smooth it all over, Obama invited the cop and his buddy the professor over for a beer and a cigar, I guess, or whatever, and they had made this whole big like PR stunt out of it. It was insane.
Sounds like something I would do. Was Tom Hanks playing Obama? Was this really a story about Obama? No, I'm just kidding. What was that movie with Tom Hanks where he's a politician and he's getting fucked up in a jacuzzi? The first scene, Charlie Wilson's War or something. Did you see that one?
Oh, no.
All right, we're chugging beers.
Just say it.
That was actually a pretty hefty drink. There we go. Yeah.
All right, I gotta drain the main Visane. Larry, can you hold it down?
Yeah, sure. Why not, man? We'll just let this thing play out. Yeah.
Yeah, Larry, are you good on time? Are we chilling?
Well, I gotta pick up my son in an hour from his job, but
okay, hold on to that.
I can't drink that much, but yeah, I'll hang out for a bit.
I thought that was a joke. Okay, but don't go anywhere. Right back.
Okay, all right. All right, I'm back here. Let's see. Where are we going here? Questions. If you were a cicada and you woke up from a 17-year sleep, what would you want to brew and drink? That's an interesting question. Let's see. So I see a comment here about the clawhammer mesh grain basket being a better efficiency than malt pipes. Oh, I don't disagree. I'm just saying, for me, part of my brew day, I don't see part of my philosophy about brewing is KISS, right? Keep it simple, stupid. I don't really like doing more work than I have to get the same end result, right? So, and cleaning and putting shit away and cleaning up is a huge part of the hobby, right? So it's like, yeah, the brewing's fun. You get better numbers, you get better results maybe in the final beer, but then you got like an hour of scrubbing and cleaning and spraying and rinsing and splashing and mopping to get all that mess out of that kind of mesh stuff. At least that's been my experience with other mesh baskets. Not the claw hammer. I don't have the claw hammer, but that style is what I'm referring to. So I kind of just kind of avoid that kind of basket, or pop spider or anything that has a mesh on it, that gets gummed up and sticky and stuff. Because if you don't clean it well and you let it sit in the corner for a while, then it starts to smell and get moldy and funky, right? And I got multiple brew systems, right? So I don't always brew on the same system every time I brew. So it could sit there for a few months at least or longer before I get around to using it again. And then you open up the lid and you smell the thing and you're like, oh, it's funky. I got to clean it again. But now it's even harder to clean because it's all dried and crusted on there. So that's just my personal preference. There's like downsides to every brew system when it comes to like cleaning. Honestly, one of the things that bothers me about the Brew Easy is having to clean and sometimes disassemble those little sight glasses on the outside of their kettles, of the Blitman kettles. That's kind of a pain for me. It's something I don't have to do with like my Spike kettle, for example. So, I mean, I'm not picking on any brand at all. I'm just saying there's pros and cons to cleaning brewing equipment.
That's the biggest factor, bro. That's bigger than price.
Hmm?
For me, it is. Cleaning a fermenter that takes forever. I'd rather pick up dog shit. Picking up dog shit's easy. Kind of smells, but it's fucking really easy.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, and so that's what I was talking about right when you walked up. There was it was just part of my brewing philosophy is keep it simple, right? It's like
less is more.
I don't want to do any more work than I have to, and if there's a lot of scrubbing, disassembly, reassembly involved,
no, too much,
and something else is there that doesn't require that, I'll do the thing that doesn't require that.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you use glass fermenters? I mean, you probably do for your.
Oh, of course I do. I got like a half dozen or more actually. Because I started brewing in the year 2000 when that's all we had.
No, I know, but do you still use them? I mean, I know it works for meads and
stuff. I use them for wines. Because wines can sit months in those things, right?
Yeah,
and I don't want to occupy an expensive brewing fermenter to hold wine for that long.
Right.
So I still use them for that. I'll use them for sometimes as a fermenter as well. But I've gotten kind of really spoiled with the whole pressure transfer, not pressure for fermentation, because there's some styles that you don't want to pressure ferment, right? But they have the ability to like seal it up and rack it from the vessel into a keg without oxygen. It's awesome.
Yeah. It is. Good question though. What styles would you not want to pressure transfer? Besides hazy IPAs? Well,
no, not pressure transfer. I wouldn't pressure ferment, right? So I wouldn't pressure ferment
under pressure.
Yeah, so like a Hefeweizen, right?
You want anything that's cloudy, you want to keep it there?
Anything that part of the style requires esters in the beer. So brown ales a little bit too, but more like
Hazies,
the ones with the funky stuff that has got
tropical
the funky
IPAs.
Tropical yeast, IPAs like that. Yes, exactly, because you want the esters as part of that profile. Like with Hefeweizen, you have that banana and clove. Those are ester flavors. If you pressure ferment, you'll just get a plain old wheat beer and not even taste that stuff. And I made that mistake one time.
I love esters. I hate when people use it in a bad sense, in a bad light.
Oh, yeah.
It reminds me of Magic and Final Fantasy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Does it really? Yeah.
Esters. Yeah. It sounds like a powerful sorcery thing. Ester.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know. To me it does. Yeah. We got a new barrage in here. What up, Chad Carpenter? What's up, man? Coming up on.
That's my brother.
Oh, hey, Chad. Hey, Chad. How we living, man? Cheers, barrage. CH in Knoxville.
Here.
How are you, Chad?
I don't really like beer that much.
Todd Porter,
Chad's
man.
doing well.
Chad's here, man. I've seen him in some of your videos. Who was the dude smoking a cig when he was super partied out in that video?
Who was that? Partied out video? Because he was.
Was that Chad?
Well, which video? Because in the past year I've had
Saw it like a week
Chad
ago.
and Clay. It might have been Clay from Jaded Brewing.
I don't know. You have a lot of people come and go, and like the way you guys do your streams is that it's almost kind of like this cycle, right? Like you brew, somebody keep the chat. Just you got to have somebody talking in the chat, whether it's their first time there, they're the most awkward person ever. You can't just be like, okay, we're gonna go brew for an hour or a half an hour, and we're just gonna have this shot of us in the background. Someone's got to be there. That's why
someone's got to be the host. Somebody's got to be controlling it. Yeah.
That's why Brian and Kelly, even though it's a 2-man job, he pulls it off, but that still scares the shit out of me. But it's also Brian and his wife, so you're not going to get like fucking gelato drunk. You know, if you have 3 or 4 guys over, it could turn into a, Animal House real fast. But Brian and his wife, like for 2 people, they do a stream pretty damn good. And Just does it by himself, but you always got to have kind of somebody right there.
You need a co-host because it's hard to stay engaged like this and be doing that at the same time. You're either doing that or you're doing this.
Yeah.
And if you try to do both, it's hard because you'll forget, or you'll, just like anything, you'll focus on one thing and not the other, and something sacrifices either the brew or the live stream.
Yeah.
So you got to have someone there to help.
And then you got something on your mind. You've got your next 2 chores coming up. Then someone asks you a good question. You're just like, whoa. Then you go into that for, 10 minutes. And then next thing you know, there's a boil over or some shit. I mean, I would just assume that. I've never done this. But I would think that Martin from the Homebrew Challenge could have a pretty good gauge on this. Solely, A, he's, comfortable in front of camera. He's a YouTuber. But B, he's been on the stream before, and he's got the camera that's already looking down, and he's got a camera over here, and he's got a camera straight on. So he's already good as far as the stream deck goes, just to like hit a button. So now, hey, maybe I can still talk to people, but I can hit this shot looking down now, and I don't have to be right in front of the camera like doing this. As long as they can kind of see the pretty much live B-roll and just talk over it. Yeah,
I got nowadays for my live streams, I have like at least 4 cameras going at once now.
What do you rock?
The problem is,
damn man.
But the problem is that if I put 4 thumbnail images on the screen at one time, it gets really noisy and hard to follow. So my preferred approach, that you might have seen, is that I actually have to like cycle between the different views.
Right.
That's my approach. But because it's a manual process, you might switch to a view and then go to your next step and forget to switch the camera back to another camera. And now everyone's staring at your ass.
Right.
I mean, instead of like whatever you're trying to show them.
Right. And then you got to also be looking at another monitor to see what you're doing live on that 10-second delay, kind of what we're doing right now.
Yeah, right now I'm looking at you from 10 seconds ago, like nodding your head, but you're not nodding your head right now. You're waiting for me to finish talking.
Yeah, so it's a mind fuck for you guys, and I've done this on Party Times' channel and on Yeast and the Beast's channel. But Party Times right here. Got to get a stream deck and automate that stuff. But I see it on the other side, and it's like almost don't even look at that. Just look at just go off the audio. I don't know, because it's over here, and I don't really need it on right now, other just to see like the chat and stuff like that. But the 10-second delay, like, it takes some time to get used to.
It does.
Any delay.
It does because like, for example, for those who are watching it, I'm talking to you right now. I can't see your reactions because what I'm seeing on screen is your reactions from something that happened 10 seconds ago.
Like, I'm going to show Larry my penis right now, but he's not going to see it for about 40 seconds. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, and it'd be like, whoa! But it'd be too late because he'll already have, you'll put it away again. And it's too late. Wow. It don't work.
It don't work no more. What up, Lakeside Brewer? I pressure ferment IPAs. Right on, man.
Look, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't really like
so, but there are ways to get live videos. Like I've been using Skype for this stuff.
Brian used that too. Short circuited.
Yeah, and it's live. I mean, we interact like within like a second delay. I mean, it's pretty quick, so we can react to each other quicker. But the complexity of getting it on YouTube is a lot more than Discord. Yeah. I mean, it takes a little bit more practice. Yeah, set up and stuff.
Yeah, and I feel like every day there's something kind of different. Like sometimes the OBS, the Streamlabs will read some input better than others. Because at the end of the day, here's how Streamlabs works. It's pretty much Photoshop, and you're adding layers to it. So I've got an alert box, which is the thing that shows up if somebody subscribes or donates. I've got the chat box is showing up right now. I've got audio input for you, audio output for me, the happy hour thing, this thing that clicks on and off right here in the bottom right-hand corner. I should be putting up Larry or Party Time in the top left, the sound clips, and then my Logitech camera. Let me see if I can click that off really fast.
Yeah.
No. Oh, that locked it in. That takes it off. Okay. So, and once you like start playing around with something, you can fuck it up, Larry, and it's like you got to go back and do it all over again. It's not just like It's not just like an Xbox 360. You put a game in, it's good to go. It's like, no, we have to like plug the back, unplug this controller now, like turn the TV on. Yeah, you have to like try out all these new different things, and then it just works, and you're like, what the fuck, man? Like, why can't it just work like that?
Yeah.
Just plug everything in, but it's still kind of in like, I don't know, Streamlabs. I don't really think I paid for this version. It's probably only been around for a couple of years, maybe more, but not like, you know, as popular as it's been now. There's a lot more people switching kind of from YouTube to stream or vice versa, because YouTube pretty much took not stream but Twitch. And
Twitch, yeah.
And at the end of the day, everybody I think runs OBS Streamlabs off a PC, and I'm not familiar with PCs at all. Everything I do is on a Mac.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Do you edit on a PC?
Yeah, that's right here. That's what I'm on right now. Yeah, my laptop. Well, actually, I got my laptop that I use for like live streams and filming and recording, because I can actually use my laptop as my monitor for like filming stuff. So I can actually record it. But my workhorse is my home built workstation downstairs which has all the CPUs and all the memory and all the and everything. So I do all my special effects on that machine, but I'll do rough cuts on this thing, you know, and things like that. But,
so you don't have a Mac though? Are you one of those anti-Mac people?
No, I'm not an anti-Mac person, but the last Mac I used was a Macintosh or whatever back in college in the 90s, and then
the Apple One, or what was it called?
Yeah. Well, it was like the little tiny little box with the little screen and the little tiny
floppy disk. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, but then since I was in the engineering curriculum, all the good engineering applications were all like PC based, so I kind of like stuck with that. Right. So yeah.
Yeah, Apple didn't go hard computer wise until like 2004, 2005. I remember like overnight, every computer at my college was just a Mac. Remember those big ones that had like orange shells or turquoise shells you could see through?
Yes, they were called iMacs. Yeah,
those were the first things that got popular, because I kind of remember people having the Macs growing up, like the one family computer in the late 80s, early 90s. Where there was one computer, and, everyone could take their turn going on AOL.
With the dial-up modems.
Yeah, but what were we taking our turns looking at? Like ESPN.com? It's like, just go look at the newspaper. At that time, it would just be way more efficient. Just go look at the newspaper or go watch SportsCenter. But maybe it was just the
It was porn. It was porn. That's what
it wasn't porn. It was like just the idea that you were on a computer and you could talk to somebody. Was like,
through IM and chats and emails and stuff.
AIM,
yeah.
But other than that, I don't remember surfing the web. When I remember the computer, there was no porn. I mean, there probably was, but it wasn't like video porn. It took like one blowjob pic to go to load 56 kbps or whatever. Yeah, I just at that time in high school, I probably just had like VHSs of whatever. But I think that I don't think I ever really surfed the web until about college or maybe senior year of high school. But it was always just AOL Instant Messenger, which was the first kind of form of social media, I guess, right? Without the whole popularity and selfies and likes and all the bullshit. It was just a way to communicate with somebody.
That was the way. That was real popular back in the 90s, I remember. Yeah.
Do you remember your AOL screen name? AIM?
Barbecue
Larry?
No, I do remember AOL, but it wasn't just AOL back then. There was other competitors like CompuServe was a big one.
Netscape Navigator, AOL. You remember?
Well, funny you say that because I was one of the original users of the original Netscape. Because the
That was
World
the
Wide
original
Web
browser.
It was actually one called Mosaic before that.
Ooh.
And I know this because I was at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign when the first web browser was made there by Mark Andreessen. It was a grad student there at the time, so we actually had the World Wide Web, the WWW, back in like 91, 92 era, I think it was, and it was called the Mosaic browser. The Mark then left U of I and started Netscape, and then converted it to Netscape and made it proprietary, right? And that's what started all that. So I was there during when all this was like just starting off, and so I was one of the early adopters, which made me a dork because when I would, like, just like you said, I would go in my apartment with my roommate. I would say, "Hey, man, get off the phone. I need to use my modem to log on to like check my homework or whatever, or to surf porn or whatever, whatever it is."
Yep.
And he's like, "Oh, well, don't be on for so long." And so I remember all those days very well.
Oh yeah.
But I was called a dork. It's like Larry's going on the internet again.
Yeah.
What a dork. And now everyone's got it in their pocket, in their
Everyone's
phone.
got it. And not only that, but I remember households would have three because you'd have the landline, which was the one that, the telemarketers would call at 6 o'clock because your family finally sat down for dinner. And then you have your older sister who has to talk on the phone their whole day. And then you need the other landline for the people using AOL Instant Messenger. It wasn't Netscape. It was after that. It was all like remember they would mail you the CD every day. It was like 5,000 hours for free. It's like, yeah. If this is all still just one free month, or like 500 hours, now it's 1,000. Okay, we could be on it all fucking month nonstop.
Yeah.
But after that, you're still going to charge us $25 a month.
Yeah.
Fermentation Adventures. I remember those days well, Larry.
Oh yeah. You know it, man. I'm showing my age.
How old are you, Larry? Are we the same age? I'm 24.
I'll be 50. I'll be 50 on October 3rd.
Okay.
And you're 34, you said?
I graduated in 2003, but if anybody asks, I graduated in 2016.
Get over here!
No,
yeah, I graduated.
I'll be 38 in
the
January.
mid-90s. 38, yeah. I was supposed to graduate. I graduated high school in 90. Supposed to graduate college in 94, but I joined the Army in high school and ended up getting called up for active duty, and I missed a year of college.
Thank you for your service, Raj.
Yeah, I ended up graduating it like a year later, yeah. Operation Desert Storm, kind of.
Yeah, I remember that. Are you kind of a genius, Larry? Or were you always like a 4.0 person?
No, actually, it's kind of embarrassing. I was in the bottom half or quarter of my freshman class down at Champaign-Urbana. It was kind of embarrassing because I was an A student in my high school, but my high school was kind of shitty. So I thought I was smarter than I actually was. Got the U of I, and I almost flunked out. I mean, it was my freshman. I mean, because the magnitude and the standards were so much higher than what I was used to growing up in my crappy school system that I actually had spent my first year in college taking remedial courses. I had already aced in high school in theory.
I think I did the same, like English 101 and shit. I think I took it 3 times in college.
Yeah, so but by the time I graduated, I actually got on the ball and got up there and was like in the honor society. And by the time I graduated, I was near the top of my class. Yeah, but I mean that took 5 years to get there.
Are you kind of like me? Like we're good at math and science, but we're fucking horrible when it comes to like writing a poem or a haiku or writing an English paper? There's 2 types of people back in the 90s. It was either you like could figure out how to write a paper or you could solve for X. Or
I'd rather solve for X. I always like concrete answers, not squishy, wishy-washy kind of stuff.
And I used to argue
touchy-feely stuff.
Yeah, and I would always argue with my English teachers because I'd always get an A+ in Spanish because it was the only goddamn class we could talk in, and I would kill it at that. Great at math, great at science, but English teachers would always give me like a C or C-. They're like, you write how you talk, and I'm like, because that's fucking how I talk. Like that's how my brain works. And they're like, well, you got to do this better, and it's got to be 1 concrete detail, then 2 commentary. I'm like, there's no right or wrong with English. This is such bullshit. Like, if you're so good at writing English, why don't you have a book out? How come you're not an author? Like, you're giving me an F on this paper?
Yeah.
English papers, to me, come down to, like, speech and debate. I could tell you that this fucking 300-word essay or this 1,000-word essay makes perfect damn sense. but I'm not writing the way that you want me to write. And at the end of the day, if you can't solve for X, and that means everything is gray, then there is no right or wrong answer, which would work nowadays, especially in California, because like, I identify as an A, or like, you really can't fucking tell me that this is bad. You said write about this, and here's the minimum words, and I did that. So like, fuck you if you have a problem the way like my brain translates pen to paper, and I can go get I saw that one there. I can go get a tutor or whatever, and they're going to write the paper for me and all this shit. It's not going to be mean. It's going to pass the class. So this is all just fucking stupid to begin with.
It totally is. Yeah, I totally agree. I took the
if you're doing math wrong,
classes,
if you're doing math wrong, then it's like, I get it. I fucked up. I didn't carry the one. I didn't, add the zero, But
there's only one right answer, right? Yeah. So you got it right or you got it wrong. Yeah.
And history is just really like Rain Man. It's just how well can you remember stuff for a short period of time.
It's all memorization.
It's just vocabulary. It's just it's memorization. That's all it is. It's just a hobby. Like how it's history and all that shit is just Jeopardy. It's school Jeopardy. Yeah.
So I see a question from Thurai. He says, ever use a local BBS, which is a bullet? Yes, that was actually back in 1990, my freshman year in college. The World Wide Web hadn't yet existed.
Corporate life is
had this thing called
English class. Sorry, Larry.
Yeah, sure. So they had this thing called Gopher, which was like a BBS system, or there's hundreds of. So you'd have call in these different numbers, and there'd be a text way of like navigating, and it's so archaic. In fact, speaking of archaic, you know how Google and what was Yahoo and Alta Vista and all these other old dead search engines?
Jeeves, Alta Vista, I remember that.
All those back in the 90s, early 90s, the only way to do a search was this thing called Archie, which was an acronym for something.
Okay.
And it was called Archive, whatever. And you had to like type in your search words, hit submit to a queue, come back hopefully in 24 hours and see if it returned any results. And this is back in the early days when there wasn't a whole lot of information.
1 0, 26 ones and zeros equal an A. Come back in a week.
Oh yeah. So that was the fun back then, man. It was like the bulletin boards. Oh yeah. Yeah. Anyway, sorry to digress. I just saw the comment there. And
school was weird, man. Zach Pearson says, good history teacher, insight, debates, and discussion. My high school had an advanced history class, and it was great. I agree with Zach Pearson. The bummer about college for me, I literally didn't learn anything, and I don't remember any teachers' names. I don't remember any teacher that was like Robin Williams from Dead Poet Society that was like, fuck the book, let's rip it apart. Like, everyone just bring your desk closer together. Like, what's your name? I would have like probably made some friends out of that. Every teacher I had in college at Sonoma State was going through the motions like fucking you could never believe. They try to sell you the syllabus. They try to sell you the little shitty thing that they wrote about some shit that they Googled, probably on their summer off or their winter off. And then they gave it to you and they were literally like, deuces, fam. The final will be at the end of the year. And I was like, this is crazy how this works. And I get a degree and people are supposed to think I'm employable. This is fucking crazy.
That's the college scam that's there today, right?
Crazy.
It's all part of the scam. I mean, my daughter is going to a junior college right now. She's going to transfer next year. And her approach is because she's going to junior college, she's going for free, not spending a lot of money, because what's going on here is that it's like jobs require college degrees for jobs that don't require college degrees. And it's the only way they do that is because they can avoid the responsibility of qualifying and screening their own candidates' qualifications by requiring you to have a piece of paper that says you passed all these stupid classes that mean nothing for the job you're applying for, but it's like a minimum entry kind of certificate they want because they're too damn lazy to like screen you as a real job applicant. So I tell my daughter, I said, and anyone else who will listen to me, I said, if you're going to college because you feel like you want to or you have to, whatever, you don't have to, but if you do it as cheaply and affordably as possible, because ultimately when you get that shitty piece of paper, it doesn't mean that you are a genius. It doesn't mean that you're smart. It doesn't mean that you can do the job you're applying for. It just means that you can apply for a job that doesn't actually require that degree anyway.
Right.
I mean, Well, with exceptions, architecture,
Computer
lawyers,
programming,
doctors, engineers,
officer
stuff.
candidate school, being the president. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's stuff you should, but it's a con. It's a scam.
It's a scam. And not only that, but like when I was in college, all my friends that there was no like higher education or someone that was trying to really like push themselves intellectually. It's like we found, remember that website like ratemyprofessor.com that showed you like the easiest teacher? We cheated our asses off. If one kid got the homework assignment, we all got it. If someone knew the password, it was like literally the last scene from Old School with Vince Vaughn. Like, hey, give me the test. Let's all do this. It's like we were just trying to pass. We weren't trying to learn or do anything. It was college. College is the fucking biggest scam of all time.
And you spend a lot of money for that privilege, and that's it. Yeah,
college
I totally agree.
I mean, I go back and I think about college, and it's like some of these prerequisites I had for a business. I was a Bachelor of Science with an emphasis in wine business strategies at Sonoma State. And some of the prerequisites for these classes were like introduction to Hawaiian Islands or study of dinosaurs. I'm not kidding. 19, 20-year-old kids taking out 3-4 unit classes to study dinosaurs, like little kid imagination. I mean, they're not imagination. So we need to know about dinosaurs to figure out how to get like a job in the real world. You should give up this dinosaur shit the day you give up like buying Ninja Turtles or something, like dinosaurs. This is insane.
Just put it away. Yeah, right. Yeah.
I still am paying college interest loans on this dinosaur shit. Intro to Hawaiian Islands. Ancient France Revolution up until 1877. Okay, Nathaniel Robespierre, Franz Ferdinand killed people in town square with the guillotine. I get that. Do I need to like be in debt to know this shit? It's just so dumb and so silly, man. It was so ridiculous.
And then
ridiculous.
And it's a scam that's got repercussions that last these people years while they're trying to get out from under debt. For a piece of paper, but they can't get a job. It's like, come on.
But you got to look at it almost like I had a good time and I have friends for a lifetime. Like I was on a 4-year vacation that I'm still paying off. Like that's the way it was. Like we played beer pong every night. We were hanging out with girls.
Yeah.
We were kind of cool.
Oh no, I'm not arguing the fun aspect,
the social aspect. Yeah, but
if you step back and look at the big picture, is 4 years of fun worth 15 years of not getting married, buying a house, affording a car, living with your parents?
No, you're
it's
right.
kind of like,
you're right.
Is it really worth that much afterwards for you to have those first 4 years? I don't know. It's a trade-off.
No. I was a pretty Anchorage college student, but I've like kind of like my college degree meant nothing. I got into debt, but at the end of the day, I was an 18-year-old kid signing contracts because I was trying to keep my parents happy. And if you didn't go to college, you were shamed. You were a loser. Like you were like, what? You're gonna take a year off school?
Yeah.
It's like my friends.
Well, that might have been true 20 years ago, but man, today it's all
about the internet.
It's all a scam. It's all I mean, you can learn shit on your own. Just open a book. Just go online. There's so many free resources to learn how to do things that don't require you to spend $100,000 in 4 years of lost income, because that's effectively what you're doing. It's not only the cost, but the sunk cost or the hidden cost of not earning a living during that time.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's a huge sink.
It's a huge sink. And not only that, but being like 23 years old and you've got this paper that nobody really gives a shit about, except if you want to be like a doctor or a lawyer or a whatever. But like, hey, to go into your adult life at 23 and be like $50,000 into debt is a very, very, very bad way to start your adult life. You could have bought houses by then. You could have moved to Tennessee or Georgia, bought 3 houses and like fucking property managed them out, Airbnb them. Yeah. And been retired by the time you're 30. This idea that like college is going to give you this good paying job, that day is dead.
That's kind of my point. It's like the diminishing returns after year, decade after decade. It's like the costs skyrocket, the benefits decline, and it's to the point now where you're a fool for going to college unless you actually really need to go to college for some career that actually requires it, not claim to require it.
Yeah, and there's 2 types of people, and I was very angry in 2010 because I was like, hey, I got a college degree. Like, how come the world isn't supposed to give me this job, and I'm gonna have a white picket fence and be married by the time I'm 25 and dogs and all this shit. the faster I knew that like the world didn't care about my college degree, the better I'm off. You know, like the faster you're like, hey, I just can't control this thing. It's out of my zeitgeist or my out of my ethos or whatever. Like, it sucks to write the checks, but you just got to know. Like, I don't know. And you know what's funny about this, Larry? In 2 or 3 generations from now, people are going to look back and be like, you paid money to go to college? You know, because YouTube and all these lynda.coms or all these $30 a month things, people are going to be like, you could learn anything you want on planet Earth. And I've learned everything I've ever known on YouTube. I really have.
That's what I was starting to say a few minutes ago. Exactly right. Yeah. You don't have to go to college anymore.
Fuck no. And if you have passion nowadays, like if kids have passion nowadays, you could literally learn like AutoCAD, Photoshop, Revit, Final Cut Pro, and Premiere, like all in 1 year. There's people that go to college that don't know how to do a resume. I mean,
okay. I'm not going to mention names here, but I have a family member who went to college. It was more of a trade school for 3D graphic design or something like that. I think it was.
See, what does that even mean? Okay, but what software are we talking? Is that like Adobe? Is that Flash? Is that?
Well, no. Check this out. All right. He spent I think the price, although he got scholarships and like some funding and stuff,
grants, money, and
but
nobody even knows what the fuck that means.
List price, it was like IPA. Yeah, it was like $200,000 for a 2 or 3 year program.
$200,000. I need to start a college and a religion. Yeah.
And when I asked him, I said, "Well, what software did you use?" I said, Blender? Photoshop? I said, that's free. Yeah. You can download Blender right now and learn it on your own with some tutorials from YouTube. I mean, like what I did like several years ago.
Yeah, let's start a religion.
Don't spend all that money. And then when you apply to jobs that require you to do that, you show them your portfolio of the work you've done on your own. I mean, that's ultimately what they care about is what you can do for them.
Chad's getting called out. Sorry, Chad Carpenter. I see a $50,000 in there. I'm going to assume that.
Chad said 50,000. Chad, I thought it was 200,000.
We'll call it USD though. But whatever. We get the memo.
I thought it was 200. So I thought you said it was. Okay, all right. I'm sorry,
Larry. You know, Kyle from Clawhammer.
It wasn't Chad. Chad just knows about it. Don't blame Chad.
It was $200,000. For the sake of the story, I'll edit this up. It was $400,000. Chris, schools don't prepare you for 90% of your later life. You learn a bunch of unnecessary stuff like calculating circles in a square, but nothing like saving money, techniques, or critical thinking. No, that's why I'm not sure if I'll ever have kids some days. But if I did. Getting kind of late to it, but I would homeschool them. Like, there's no doubt in my mind. Like, you're going to be working by the time you're 15. You're going to know software. You're going to know how to, build a shed. You're going to know how tools work. And that's just how I would raise my kid.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, for sure. Larry, we got one more beer. You got one more beer in you?
Let's see what time is.
10:21. Okay, hold it down. I'm going to hit this mute thing. I'll be right back. BRB.
All right. Yeah, so hey, Chad, you know what I'm talking about, Chad. I mean, I thought it was more than that, but it's still a lot of money, right? To learn a free software program that you could have learned on your own. Chad says he rode the short bus. But Chad was smart. He went to a trade school. He learned how to do like an actual trade. He got a real skill. He makes money doing that stuff, right? Right, Chad? So, you didn't have the burden of paying off loans and lost income for 2 years or 4 years or whatever, right? You went right into it, right? So that's the idea nowadays, man. I mean, my son might be going into the trades because he's a smart kid as well, but he doesn't do well in a classroom environment. So I can see him doing some kind of trade, and trades pay well. They're in high demand. I got friends of mine right now, good friends who are HVAC guys or some other plumbers and things. They make a lot of money, man. I mean, they make good money. So college isn't the way to. I mean, in 1950, it may have been, but it's 70 years later now, man. I mean, times have changed, right? Yeast and the Beast. Hey, what's up, Jesse? 10K in student loans invested in. There you go.
Larry, did you get the GI Bill? Were you cruising on the GI Bill?
Well, yeah, I did, but I wouldn't call it cruising. I didn't apparently read the fine print because they hid it from people.
Oh, really?
So what I did,
Fine
for those who
print
want to
IPA.
know, so those who want to learn, of course, now everyone watching this is too old to join
I'm not
the
laughing.
military. Oh, that's okay. But
I'm laughing.
I did the GI Bill, but I joined the Army Reserves and even full-time active duty. You get benefits for each year that you are there. So you accrue a certain amount of money that you can get reimbursed for each year of service. But if you're in the reserves, like I was at the time, you have to submit paperwork during that year for that year's
Like an OCS
money.
packet. You have to be.
So I missed the first 2 or 3 years worth of benefits. So I actually, out of my my 8-year enlistment, I only got about 5 years worth of benefits, and it was prorated because I was in the reserves, not full time. So, and then all the money I got paid, I had to spend on train fare and hotels to go to the places where my drills were on the weekends, and I had to pay for like monthly haircuts.
They didn't pay for that,
right? Oh, out of my own pocket. So the money I got is basically break even because all my money went back to get me to and from my drill units and being prepared and stuff. So
fuck that.
It was it was not the best deal out there for a reservist. It was actually a raw deal, honestly. But for active duty guys, it's a good deal. It's just that the rules are different for the National Guard and the reservists, though. That's the difference.
Didn't get enough.
Which I didn't know.
Didn't get any love in that reserve.
Yeah,
Sorry to hear, man. Are you doing okay on time over there, Larry? I just poured another beer.
Well, I need to get one too, if you don't mind.
All right, here we go. Do you really have to pick your kid up, or was that a joke?
No, my son works till 10 over at Home Depot. I was going to pick him up tonight because my wife picked him up last night. But
what time is it your time? It's 10:30 my time. Are you 2 hours?
No, I'm 1 hour behind you. I'm in Central.
Oh, okay. We can do one more beer.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah.
What did I crack in my beer? Some sea salt. Larry, can we bring somebody on for last call?
Yes.
You don't mind?
Is someone going to join?
I don't know. Party Time or Alias or Noam or Chris Radiation or Chris Vodka. If anybody's lined up, man, I can pull somebody else in here.
So I got a beer here called Neapolitan Milk Stout from Sagatuck Brewing in Michigan.
There you go.
I don't know if anyone's had this, but I'm going to give it a shot.
Sagatuck?
Yeah, Sagatuck. It's a town or a city on the shore of Lake Michigan in Michigan. So let's see here. I actually used this beer in a food recipe recently. I actually made a spicy chorizo pizza on my Kamado grill, and I made my homemade tomato sauce with my garden tomatoes, but then I actually added a little bit of milk stout to the sauce to give it more of a chocolatey kind of flavor, and I put some grilled onions. Oh yeah, man, it was badass.
Is it humanly possible? Because now I'm thinking about chorizo and beer. Is there a way to make a meat beer?
Ooh, meat beer. I don't know. What would
like a stout beer? Like a stout, like a stout, like beef ramen beer biscuit? I don't know.
That doesn't sound appealing at all. Anything with meat. I'd rather eat the meat than wash it down with beer.
But there's no such thing as a meat beer. I guess there's bacon maple beer, but that just tastes like Aunt Jemima stuff. That just tastes like maple syrup. Yeah. Smoked maple bacon. But you can't really do like a meat beer.
I don't know if I want to do a meat beer because the grease will float and stuff. How do you infuse? I know the bacon, the whole bacon beer thing sounds interesting, but I always wondered like the separation of alcohol.
Shit, sorry, Larry. Sorry, I'm coming back. We're coming back live. Sorry, I tried to get a Chris Vodka in here. I saw a quick one from Chris Vodka. I thought we could pull him in here really fast. No. We're good. Now we're back.
Okay.
He was just writing me something. I don't think he's actually ready to set up. Sorry. Okay, so you don't want to do beer. You don't want to do beer and meat because of it would offset.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not a purist. I like to experiment, but I like beer to be beer. Right. I like my food to be food. I like to drink the beer with the food, but I don't want the food in my beer. You know, it's just me. So like things like somebody commented the other day about I posted a picture on Instagram of showing my pepper harvest. I just whatever, and somebody says that they're making a chili beer and I should make a chili beer. I said, well, I've had chili beers, and honestly, it makes me want to reach for a non-chili beer to wash it down with. So
to get like the lightest pilsner in the game.
Yeah, so it's like, well, I mean, I like the hot sauce, I like the chili part, but I'd rather have a bowl of chili and wash it down with a good beer rather than drink it. And then, I don't know. That's just me.
Freeze dried meat. I think Chad might be onto something.
Oh, Chad has, we should get Chad on here.
Beef jerky stout. Chad, can we get you on right now? We're back to 70 fucking people.
Yeah, get Chad on.
Chad, can we get you on?
Discord.
Larry, tell your son to walk his ass home from Home Depot, man. Get him a bus ticket like I did, man. Pig's Feet IP. How far is Home Depot from your house?
Oh, it's like a 5-minute drive. It's like a few miles away. It's no big deal.
It's a couple miles. Okay, that's like a 40-minute walk.
But Chad, he's mentioning freeze dried meat because he's got one of those freeze dryer machines at home.
Yeah.
And so he's been freeze drying like leftovers and food soups or meats and vegetables and things. And I'm kind of jealous because I kind of want to do that too. But man, the cost of one of those things, man, it's like a few $1,000 for like the mid-size models and stuff, and more for the larger models. But
I like it. I like
freeze dried food is awesome.
We're gonna pull in. We're gonna pull in Chris Vodka really fast.
Oh, okay. All right.
Vodka. What's his name? What's his name under here? Christopher V. All right, here we go. Larry, do you know Chris Vodka?
Well, only through the chat. I never talked with anyone.
No, he does a lot of the. Let's do it right here. He does a lot of the graphic design for us schmoobers.
Very good.
Someone's got to change their name. Hello, Chris. ¿Cómo estás, Braj?
Hey, guys. That's a good.
There he is. Here's Larry. Can someone change their name really fast?
How does they change their name?
Because it's going by alphabetical order. That's why there's a gap in the middle right now. I mean, this here.
Is it really?
Yeah, I can put myself up here. We've done this. We've been here before, though. Anyways, let's drink a beer, man. How's it going, Chris Vodka?
Good. How are you guys doing?
We're good, man.
Doing well.
Chris is stoked that you're on tonight, Larry.
Well, cheers. Salute.
I think he watches your videos.
I learned the homebrew from CH and Larry. That's how when I first started doing all grain, I started batch sparging.
Old school.
Batch sparging. That's what I started doing, and never, really, honestly, look back, I still prefer it over other methods today, even. It's so simple. It's so easy to do, and it's carefree. It's not like you have to match flow rates and make sure the things are covered and watch for channeling in your grain. I mean, all those complexities are eliminated with like batch sparging. It makes it so much easier and low stress to just do it. That's great.
And, the other thing I started doing lately is I started brewing the bag.
Oh, that's fine too. That's kind of the same idea because there's no sparge often with that process, right? So that's even less work, but
it's even less to clean up.
Yeah.
But I've noticed with brewing the bag, like if I do doubles or if I do anything above like 13 to 14 pounds of grain, my efficiency is garbage.
Okay.
That's what I've noticed.
Yeah, there's always trade-offs with everything, right? Yeah, there's pros and cons to everything we do, but it's a hobby. You do what suits your fancy, whatever works best for you. But to me, I never much liked the whole fly sparging thing. I thought it was overkill for home brewing from the very start. Yeah. So brew the bag, no sparge, batch sparge. Those are all fine, but I'm just not into the whole recirculating thing, really, honestly.
But the best thing ever was when you got that 60-quart cooler and you could just dump it all in there. And then they started saying, I don't know if it was John Palmer or something, but like, don't affect the grain bed. I'm like, what are you fucking talking about? Like, people have been splashing spent grain and water together and stirring it up vigorously for years. And now we're supposed to like just trinkle water on it like it's a shower with a bad faucet or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and it's very, there's a lot of finesse with that technique, and for simplicity's sake, like I said an hour and a half ago, or when we started talking here, it was like, well, look, I like it simple. if I don't notice the difference in the finished product, doing it the complex way,
do it the fastest
easy
way.
Yeah. Why do the complex way?
No. Okay, so Larry, break down batch and fly sparging, or me or anybody. Like, explain like what we all do now. We don't do. What I'm talking about is back in the day, we'd have a 60 quart cooler, and they already had the hole drilled in it, right? Because that's where it wasn't drilled in it, but that's where you would dump all your ice out, like your big family's cooler.
Oh, spigot in the corner, yeah.
Yeah, some people put PVC pipe in there, and some people had actually copper pipe. But like you literally would just like dump your grain and your water in there, and it wasn't like a small trickle or anything, and it was just like a big splash, and there was no recirculation.
Right, yeah. You just stir it, mix it in really well, and let it sit and soak in, and then you can drain it. Add more water if you need to. Do another run. Do it again. Let it sit and let it drain. I mean, it's real simple.
But when we talk about mash nowadays, nobody says fly or nobody says batch, but we all do fly. The way that we do it now, like the small little trinkle, is just like
Yeah. Well, I mean, like systems that like the brew in the bag ones, or the ones that are similar to brew in the bag. Things like the Grainfather or the Spike Solo. I think the claw hammer is probably the same style, right? It's like you just, those are basically no sparge systems, but you can recirculate to get more efficiency out of them. But basically, when you're done, you just drain it. You just let it drip, and that's what you collect, and then you boil it, right? You don't have to fart around with like mass flow rates of in and out flow rates to make sure they're at equilibrium, so you don't dry out your grain bed or flood your cooler or whatever it is, or your
right.
It's just so much simpler. It just is, and you can get pretty good efficiencies with batch sparging. I mean, I've gotten close to 80% mash efficiency with batch sparging. I've got about the same with the fly sparging when I tried it a few times. It wasn't much different, honestly. It's just more work.
How many batch sparging like water additions did you do? Because I've done it with 2 and 3. Like kind of split it up, and like I've done. Yeah,
I shoot for 2. And whenever I do 3 will work. But they say, I say they. I mean, like the old home brewing knowledge would say, don't do any more than 2, because now you can start leaching astringency from the husks and stuff like that. So I try to shoot for 2. So I size my coolers such that all my batches will be done in like 2 runs. And it saves time, of course. You don't do a third, and I avoid the pitfalls of having that astringency, I suppose. But I never really noticed any astringency ever when I did do a third. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm part of a homebrew club, and like a bunch of the guys in there, they got a big hard on for those Herm systems. And I'm like,
that's old school. That's old school.
That's like 1990s, man.
They're like, oh, I just made a new Herm system. I'm like, I don't know.
I mean, that's fine, but now you got another heater, another kettle, another expense. It's just more shit to clean when you're done, more shit to put away.
Those things took forever, man. The pump brakes, I had a system one time that had 2 pumps and had 3 burners. And I was like, this is just a fucking nightmare. Like, the one burner worked better than the other 2. So I would move the other 2 and just put whatever I needed like that, like on that burner. And I was like, this is just a lot, man. This is just a lot.
Yeah.
For the guys who do traditional sparging, what's your mash ratio? I still just do 1.33. I got nowhere with, I don't know, 1.25 or 1.33 figuring that. I always just started with 4 gallons of strike water for every 5 gallon batch, unless it was like something super high ABV. Sorry.
So that's also a paradigm shift of approach from the old to the newer thought processes, right? Back in the old days, it was very important. You have to use 1.5 quarts per pound, or 1.25, no more than 2, no less than 1.
Yeah.
Well, now with all these almost or all-in-one systems, you just dump all the water in, man. It's like a 5-to-1 ratio, and people still make fine beer.
Yeah.
Especially like I've been doing
what a Patrick Glazer
with like a bag, and at the end I just squeeze the shit out of the bag, and so that throws everything off.
That threw it all off. Whatever calculation you had on Brewer's Friend or whatever, if you squeeze that bag, nothing mattered. I mean, you're always going to have the same amount of sugar, But we're talking about water quarts per pound of grain. So it's like, you could squeeze that, and I think it'd be almost like not what's in between liquid and solid. I mean, that shit's pretty damn thick. Mud. That shit's mud. Bag squeezes unite.
Yeah, and also like I've been trying to figure out like Friday I'm gonna brew, and I picked I picked about almost 3 pounds of whole cone hops last Sunday.
Yeah,
I use them on Friday, and like it's funny, like got them laid out everywhere here in the garage.
Chris, can I see? Whoa, there you go. Can I see whole cone? I don't know if I know that term. I know.
I got it right there, and then I got another one like chilling up on top of my car.
Damn, dude.
And then I got like 2 boxes worth of them over there chilling out because I can't I don't want to stack them on top of each other.
Squeeze the bag, get your sugar.
Wow.
Well, they'll start getting a little rotty and so what I'm trying to like. This is the other thing that I'm like I have no idea, and I
going
can't
good,
find
Patrick. Cheers, PG. Sorry.
I can't find any information on is like I have no idea how much moisture these things are going to suck up. So I'm trying to figure out my water. I'm like, I had some people say like, oh, do an extra gallon of water, do an extra 2 gallons of water. I have no idea. So I'm just going to kind of play it by ear.
No, keep me posted on that, man.
Yeah.
It's going to suck up a lot of water, though. I'll tell you that much.
Oh,
Those things look like beasts. Look like
So,
beasts.
This is what I decided I'm going to do because I talked to another guy who's done it before. So I'm going to do it. I'm going back to my cooler system, my 3-vessel gravity-fed system on this. And when I add the hops, like all those like whole cone hops, I'm just going to use my brew in the bag thing. I can squeeze the shit out of it when I'm done.
And that throws everything off, man, because you went from like the best water, percentage possible. Now you're going to get the most sugar out of it, but you're going to like dilute it with the most fucking sediment. So,
this is going to be a gamble. I don't know.
Hey, were you dudes around before the pellet days? Do you guys remember non-pellet hops from BSG? Or you remember those?
Yeah, that's all I used when I started brewing was whole hops. I didn't know what pellets were until a few years later when they started becoming popular.
When was pellets? Like 7 years ago? Because it's always been pellets.
It was like in the later 2000s, I believe.
What does that mean? I don't even know what that means anymore. What does later 2000s mean?
Well, I mean, I started brewing in 2000, and whole hops were the dominant.
Yeah, okay.
And pellets were around, but they were not a thing yet. But now it's the other way around. It's like you go to the homebrew shop, and there's nothing but pellets, and
there's nothing but
whole cone hops, and yeah.
So when did it become pretty much, like 100% pellets? 2010?
Probably 10 years ago, yeah. I mean,
2012?
probably a good guess. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Okay, because I got in the game 2014, and I had to go out of my way to get what were they even called? The non-pellets, fresh cone, fresh hop.
They just call them whole hops.
No, flower hops.
Whole cone, yeah.
Cone?
Whole cone hops, yeah.
But I didn't get into the brewing game until probably 2017. When I got into it,
and it was always pellets there. But aside from the whole dry hopping thing, they would say that the fresh hops or the whole hops had more kind of like plant to give. Like the pellet stuff kind of gets like sucked out a little bit or something. Like when they put it in kind of that capsule form. But other than that, like I did that a couple times, and then everyone was just like, "Dude, every time you dry hop with this, it just absorbs way too much beer." And I was like.
Well,
not only that, but it doesn't sink to the bottom. It just stays at the top. Looks like fucking shitty lily pads. The pellet hops like go down. They get rid of that shit.
I always preferred the whole hops for a number of reasons. I mean, I didn't mind them floating. I mean, that's okay. But the hop pellets, they can clog your pump. They can get into your filter. I mean,
that was a big thing. I remember stuck mashes were a huge thing back in the 3-tier system days. I mean. With brew in a bag and all the stuff, that doesn't matter anymore. So in theory, Larry, those could maybe come back. I don't really know how much, if you take 5 ounces of, hops that are pellets and 5 ounces that are not and do a side-by-side thing. I don't know how much you can tell the difference. But you would think in theory, the ones that aren't pellets are going to be better. right? Because they're not like sucked through a little.
I think they're better to brew.
Shit.
They're easier to brew with, but there is a difference in IBUs that you have to account for. I don't know if people know this today because, like you said, pellets are just basically everywhere. But I mean, my own brewing spreadsheet that I use for my recipe designs, I have a fudge factor in there of about 10%, roughly. That whole. So if you design a recipe for whole hops, they're about 10%, I think, less bitter than the same 1 ounce of pellet hops. So you have to. So if you're converting a recipe from pellet to whole or whole to hot pellets, you have to raise or lower the additions by that 10% in order to get the same bitterness and flavor and everything, because there's a lot of dry matter and other things in the whole hops that the pellets have some of it, but less of it than whole hops do.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and the other thing is like to equal, was it? I think pellet was it? Whole cone hops to pellet is like 5-1, 4 or 5-1. You need a lot of them equal to the pellet.
Right, because it doesn't go 1 for 1. Sorry, I'm throwing in the BarrageCon update. Here it is.
Oh, Brush. Hey, so
I measured out all the.
I got an update. I got an update for your ass. What's
when
up?
are we doing this BarrageCon thing, man? I thought you were going to host a freaking BarrageCon in Knoxville, man. Come on.
Yeah, I am, and I'll tell you right now. So here's the thing. So I talked to my buddy Charles, who's the GM of Yeehaw Brewing, which they're big in Johnson City. We've talked about this. Chris, you know about Yeehaw. They do all kind of like Dunkels and Kolsch's and German styles. But they've got very kind of like newer branding. Everything's in a can. Nothing looks too old school. The weekend that they open, I was thinking that like let's let them have their let's let them have their like grand opening. And I'm thinking oh my god, it's one of these fucking news websites that wants to charge you money. The weekend after that, I was thinking we could do BarrageCon. So I'm thinking like, you want to do a couple weeks before everyone's got to go home for Thanksgiving. But I talked to Charles. Here, Larry, look at this. Click on this link in the chat.
Okay.
This is one of my few barrages that I chill with out here. He's a really good dude. He's a couple years older than me. And the problem with Yeehaw right now is they're trying to open up a Gatlinburg tasting room too. Does anybody know Gatlinburg?
Oh, yes, I've been there a few times.
Okay, I haven't been to Gatlinburg. So they're doing that first. Like the construction company is going there and they're building these things like brand new. I mean, it's not brand new, but they're knocking existing places out and they're doing total remodels. It's stupid because the Knoxville tasting room is going to make way more money than Gatlinburg. But the Gatlinburg, so the owner of Yeehaw owns Smoky Mountain Moonshine. You guys know that moonshine that's everywhere.
Oh, yes. In fact, I have a bottle of it in my house.
Yeah.
It's the cheap shit. It's $20. The guy, his name's Jim Baker. This guy's brilliant. Look this guy up right now. Jim Baker, Old Smoky Moonshine. I'll put this in the chat. Jim Baker, Old Smoky Moonshine. So he's getting. Where's this motherfucker? Meet the Moonshine Millionaire. Okay.
Went to school with a Jim Baker. He was an ass.
Believe it or not. Let's look this up a little bit. Yeah, this is definitely it. Okay, so this is the guy that owns. This guy's like 10 years older than me. It makes me want to fucking.
It's Jim Baker with 2 Ks.
The pickle moonshine. Yeah, I bought a jar of their pickle moonshine.
Which is actually not
so
moonshine.
good.
If you sell it legally, it's not moonshine.
It's not moonshine. It's legally distilled spirit.
No,
It's all marketing.
It's marketing.
Bullshit.
It's all marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sells.
Yeah.
So
But
this
still,
is the guy.
The pickles weren't so good. Go
The
ahead,
what?
sorry.
The pickles weren't so good? So this is the dude that's opening up Yeehaw in Knoxville. And I'm buddies with the GM. His name's Charles. And he's a fucking rad dude. He's a really rad guy. We get along great. I want BarrageCon. Maybe we could do it the week of their grand opening, but I think they're going to be slammed. And it's right behind my house. Like, it's right behind my house.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, Larry, we could throw a fucking football up there, dude. Like, we could skateboard down the hill. I don't know how busy they're going to be, but I want that to be BarrageCon. And I'm talking to him. I'm like, hey, man, like if I really promote this and me, Alias or Noam, or you guys want to get in on this, maybe we can get 100 people to show up and we could have a great time. You guys throw us like a party room in the back for free and we'll rep the shit out of it. We're not going to pay you any money. We'll buy beers at the bar, but we're not going to like rent, a room out like it's a fucking wedding venue. And he was like, yeah, like that sounds like a good idea. So that's what I'm kind of working on right now. So their goal is to be open. He told me October when I first got here. Now he's saying early November. But it's Yeehaw, right 1 block from my house in Knoxville. So put that on your radar. That's the BrashCon update. That's as good as.
All right.
There you go.
I'll grab Chad and we'll carpool down there in 7 hours.
Get your ass down here. Like I said, I could put some people up in the backyard. If people want, I got 1 bathroom here. We'd have to talk, Noam and Alias kind of already have first dibs. I can put some people in my house.
Camping.
Go
Chad and I have no camping. Yeah. Right, Chad?
Yeah.
We'll go. Yeah, man.
Yeah. So that's the most like non-bullshit update I can give.
That's pretty cool, man. I was just only half kidding about it, but
no. We've been talking about this for a long time because everyone's so sick of the fucking homebrew con because it's just kind of been on the decline for ever.
Only a quick 13-hour drive from me.
13-hour drives. You could do that in one day. He lives in
Omaha,
Nebraska.
Oh, Nebraska.
Nobody leave.
If you can make it over to the south suburbs of Chicago on the way over, we all can carpool together.
Yeah, you're only about 8 hours from me. I think.
It's halfway or something like that. Oh, yeah. Cool, man. Yeah. I was
since I've been to Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to. I mean, I've never been to Homebrew Con ever, and every time I try to go, something comes up where I can't go. And this year I chose not to go because of their stupid policies around masking and nonsense and stuff, whatever. So I just decided to not bother. But I mean, but for sure, we can definitely do something like that. Or
yeah, I've never thought about it.
Yeah,
ever.
Yeah. Or we can do one in Chicago. We have all kinds of breweries around here. We can do a bar crawl of some kind. We can run a bus or a limo or something. Go
How
around.
Many breweries would you say?
No. We could put this place on the map, man. It's got to be Knoxville. Sorry, what were you saying about Chicago?
Oh, I was just saying as an alternate location.
No. Like this.
We'll split the difference.
The bummer about. I always piss my pants. I know I did piss my pants. Here, Chris.
It's all right.
Check it out. There's a little like fucking Billy Madison shit in here. Is you seeing that? I don't know. We'll work on that. Yeah, Chris Radiation knows what's up though. No, I want to do this, and the Knoxville beer scene needs this type of love way more than I think Chicago does. I mean, how many breweries are in Chicago? Probably like 50 or 60?
Oh, it's grown since my days living in the city. Yeah, I mean, I
probably more.
I mean, there's some big name ones, and there's a lot of small ones. Yeah.
What's the biggest one? Trent told me that it was cheers, that's just Paul. It's just Paul, man. Subscriber. Member for life, man. What's the big one that the brew show's all about?
Here in Chicago?
Yeah, they get some write-ups in Craft Beer Magazine too.
Well, the oldest one is Goose Island.
No, it's not them.
There's also
Revolution. Zach Pearson.
Revolution.
Yeah, Revolution. Yeah.
They're newer, but they are good. I mean, they got good beers. Anti-Hero is my favorite.
Anti-Hero. Okay, I think that was the one.
Yeah. There's others too, man, in the suburbs as well. I mean, it's not just in Chicago. I mean, the whole metropolitan area. But the problem is that traffic's a bitch, right? I mean, I know the Knoxville ones are easy to get to and from because there's less traffic.
No, Knoxville is. I'm not saying this to say this. Knoxville's the best fucking small city ever.
It is. It's awesome. I love Knoxville,
man. It's the
Larry,
best.
my favorite Chicago brewery is Pipeworks.
Pipeworks is there too.
Pipeworks is shit.
I've only had a few of their beers. I know they have a large variety. It's I've been kind of sticking with what I know. I mean, there's one up in the north suburbs here in Lincolnshire called Half Acre, and that's probably my second favorite. I mean, they have a lot of good beers, but Pipeworks is good too. I just don't drink them that much as I probably should.
Larry, if we do BrajCon though, you have to be here because kind of one of the things we talked about was that people care about John Palmer, people care about Charlie Papazan, but like nobody cares about these panelists at the homebrew cons where it's like this guy that teaches a night school class that, you know, he's going to talk at a panel and makes you feel like you're in a classroom. I think people just want like, I don't know, like maybe like the Genus Brewings and the home, you know, the Short Circuiteds and the people that they see more on YouTube than the shit that they, you know, read books about or the articles online or the classes they took. So, if this does happen,
why is that though? I mean,
because there's
these
a
guys
personality.
doing all the teach. It's what?
There's a personality.
Personality. Oh yeah, that's kind of what I was alluding to. I mean, these guys probably know more than any of us combined. Probably. I assume.
I would
maybe
like on a pen to paper test, yeah. But as far as like who made the best beer in a beer contest, I would only do it against other like home brewers. I wouldn't want to do it in like a local one because I just want to know that like I cut all the corners of brewing and I do shit so fast and my beer is fucking pretty good.
I'd want to listen to the Party Time and the Apartment and Elementary. Like those are the guys I would like to listen to.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And not only that, but these guys are brewing more probably than any teacher is. You can't be a teacher that's correcting pages and worried about roster and who's showing up and who's paying tuition or not and still be brewing a lot. You know, like you're more worried about kind of the business side of that class, whatever the fuck you're teaching. You know, you have to figure that class out and make it successful, make people show up and give it credibility. You can't really be like brewing that much unless it's like a full-on hands-on class or something. I don't know. And there's probably not too many of them.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
All I know is I don't brew beer anymore, but I'm going to host a beer thing.
Well, you know, and there's a homebrew club in Knoxville that I have a buddy who's a member of. Maybe we can get them involved too, man. That become a big thing.
There's another YouTube channel out here. They stopped putting out content that was called 2.5 Pints. It was one of those like brew cabin channels where they were putting out content that was way too heavily produced, which means like you can't, you know, put this shit out more than once a month.
How close are you to brewing your next beer, CH?
God damn me. So I'm going to. I really wanted to have a beer out by the time I went to Clawhammer, and you know the brew show has a Clawhammer system now, and he's got it put together. Like I haven't even done that, and I feel like a piece of shit because I'm friends with Kyle. I truly am like friends with Kyle at this point, and I should have done that by now. My only problem, pretty much what I've been bitching about for 3 or 4 months now, is when I brew, I also have to build a keg grader and make that video. So I have to do like 2 videos in 1 week. Like, hey, we have to brew, and then I've got to go get a 7 fucking cubic foot chest freezer, wheel it up. And that day is kind of scaring me. And in the meantime, I could just be like, hey, like top 10, I hate Josh Wiseman or whatever. Top 10 things to, you know, do in San Diego and all this stuff.
You know what could be really cool? Is if like your first brewing back to brewing one, do like an old school extract brew.
I should.
You know what I mean? Just be starting over, back to basics, man.
Yeah. And I was thinking about this, and you guys might know this reference. Do you guys remember the movie Summer School with the chick from Melrose Place?
Summer School. That was with
the guy on the duck.
Mark Harmon.
Yeah.
Was he in that? Yeah.
So remember he's teaching all those kids that are all derelicts and they're all fucking idiots. And remember the 2 kids in there in that class that are obsessed with like Wes Craven and Texas Chainsaw. It's like the 2 like trench coat kids in there that are actually phenomenal. They just don't get good grades. Remember the kid has that one dream where he wakes up when they study so hard to pass this test to stay in school. And his mom wakes him up in the morning. She's like, hi, how are you, son? He's like, I don't know. And then he goes down to breakfast and he's like, hey, like, how do you feel about your bacon and eggs? He's like, I don't know. It's like, I want to splice that in with like, hey, CH, like, you haven't brewed in 7 months. What does like Star Sand do? Or like, what? You're like, I don't know. You don't know that scene I'm talking about though, where he starts freaking out, where all he can say is, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That's how my mind thinks. I think in metaphors of
What yeast should I use?
what?
I don't know.
Yeah. What does boil over mean when it's on your foot and you're wearing sandals? I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
all right, man.
know.
Right. Well, I
All
mean,
right, we got to get out of here.
well, actually, my daughter is picking up my son apparently.
All right,
now,
that means
so I
one
don't have
more.
to leave.
All right, we can do one more. Look at my little private stash over here. You guys see that? There it is. There's 4 Modelo's, 1 lager, and 2 of those pink lemonade things.
You know, Chad was asking how to get on the stream. I told him to download Discord and create an account. What else does he need to do?
Well, he's just got to send me an invite. We get him on. We get Gnome on. Here, I'll send him a.
We need Christopher Radiation.
Oh, I love when Chris Radiation comes on.
I know.
You know your target
I
gravity?
haven't been on with him. I love him.
Do you know what yeast does? Does it? I don't know. I don't
don't
know. But that was this
know.
one weird movie that it was past, like it was 10 years before me when it came out. But I just, as a little kid, you're what do you do when you're when it's summer and you're not 15 and you don't have the permit yet? You're just watching fucking reruns of MTV. And remember that Channel 2 station that would show you just everything that was on, and you just watch that to like see what was coming on? You guys remember that station?
No, I don't think.
Yeah,
so.
it was like TV Guide station, and it would just show you like what is on and at
See,
what
I don't-
time.
It would just scroll.
It would
real
just
slow.
scroll. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that's all it would
Do
do.
you guys remember the early days of HBO? Because
Red Shoe Diaries.
like growing up, we've always had cable, but what
Yeah.
HBO used to do is they'd play like, was it 4 or 5 movies, but they would be on repeat like 3 or 4 times a day.
I remember that
for sure.
Yeah,
Totally.
yeah,
So
because
yeah.
they would.
I totally
Right.
remember watching
Yeah.
the same movie like 3 times in one day.
Right.
So,
Because
Oh,
they
yeah.
wouldn't, because they knew like there was that slot, right? Like they had the single like mothers at home that would watch like the Days of Our Lives and that, and they wouldn't buy other movies like in syndication, and they would let that play like 3 or 4 times until it came on to prime time. I know exactly what you're talking about.
dude, I remember watching Starman 3 times in one day.
Starman.
Starman with what's his name, Jeff Bridges
Yes.
from the early '80s.
I remember Lawnmower Man, that movie that was supposed to be a big hit and it sucked. That
Yeah,
was
that was
so
not so
weird.
My favorite quote from that whole movie is when he's standing in front of the mirror and he's just like he's in his Western attire and he's like, "Hey, you got a horse?"
Lawnmower Man?
Yeah, that's awesome.
I remember like
I don't remember.
Lawnmower Man was like the 3rd R-rated movie I was allowed to see. Everyone's first R-rated movie was Cliffhanger, always Cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger with Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah,
That Cliffhanger.
yeah, and the
Oh.
dude from Days of Thunder.
Dude, I
Yeah.
remember
Tom Cruise?
when I was-
No, the
Oh,
other
no.
guy.
When I was,
Oh, the other guy. Oh,
Nobody knows his
I
name.
remember my
oh.
dad taking me to Predator when I was little.
Dude, Predator's probably the best science fiction movie of all time, aside from Alien
Predator.
or Aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
I ain't got time to
heard
bleed.
You are one
new
ugly
Predator movie.
motherfucker.
I heard that new Predator movie that's on Hulu is the shit. I
Oh,
heard
Prey.
it's really
Is that
good.
Prey?
Prey, yeah.
But it doesn't even like compare anymore because things are so good now and everyone's got such good games.
You know.
And back in the day, this was the first time you saw that special effect. Like this was the first time you saw like the infrared from the trees looking down like or like ting,
Yeah.
how'd the sound go? Like ting, yeah.
And then
Yeah, there was always like a
then you see Apollo Creed's arm get cut off.
Yeah. Who was the
Super
other
gun.
black dude that was a badass?
Oh, the bald guy. I can't think of his name.
From
In the 80s,
which
he was
movie?
in everything.
Bill Dunn. Oh man.
Yeah.
Which movie are you?
The
which
original Predator. So it was Jesse the Body
Oh.
Ventura. Bill.
Carl Weathers.
No, that was Apollo. So they're the same person. The other
Apollo
dude.
Creed.
No, the other guy.
Oh, the other dude that shaves
Bill.
with
Bill.
the knife and
something Duke.
Yeah.
Something Duke. Bill Duke.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the other guy, remember the Native American guy? He's like, I'm going to fight the predator on the log. And they're like, all right, dog, live your life. And they just hear him screaming bloody murder. They're like, that was the worst game plan of all fucking time. You suck. You suck at fighting predator, dude. And he ties his like bandana and like, now I'm ready. You just got rocked even harder. Later, bro.
Man.
What does Jesse say? He's like,
Bill Duke. I'm gonna say his name is Bill Duke.
I ain't got time to bleed.
I ain't got time to bleed. What's the best 80s quote of all time? It's got to be Patrick Swayze. Pain don't hurt, when the blonde hair doctor's sewing him up at
on Roadhouse or some shit.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's not the greatest. That movie sucked.
Roadhouse sucked.
Oh man,
out.
Sam, what's his name?
Sam Elliott looks like he's
Sam Elliott.
He looks like he's 60 years old every decade.
What about They Live? When he's like, I've come here to chew bubble. I've come here to
chew bubble gum and I
kick ass.
Kick some
I'm
ass.
all out of bubble gum.
Rowdy Piper. Is that who that was?
Rowdy Piper. Bill Duke. Bill Duke was a brosh, man. I think Bill Duke's probably still alive.
Oh man. Oh, flashback to 80s.
No,
you guys.
we've talked about this. I think Party Time remembered this trivia question. The name of the gun, Jesse the Body Ventura's gun from Predator, like old.
It's
quiet.
a chain gun of some kind. Yeah,
yeah, it's a minigun.
Yeah,
like old peaceful or little party or something.
I don't remember.
He's always got the dipper in that's like sticking out like a fucking something.
My
gnarly.
son is my son is 9 years old, and like last year for the first time, like I blew his mind and we watched Big Trouble in Little China.
Haven't seen that one, man. Still haven't seen that one.
You've never seen
Big Trouble in Little China with like Kurt Russell? Oh,
dude,
that's hilarious.
After I saw Captain Ron, nothing ever lived up to that with Kurt Russell, so I just pulled the plug on that, man.
That's the best Kurt Russell movie ever.
What, Big Trouble in Little China or Captain
I
Ron?
don't know. I
Captain
kind of
Ron?
like The Thing a little bit. I think The Thing was one of his better ones.
The Thing was pretty gnarly. When was The Thing?
or like Snake Plissken from Escape from New York.
Escape from New York.
When was The Thing? Was Thing after Aliens? Aliens was probably 81, 82?
Aliens, the plural. It's about the same
James
time.
Cameron
I guess.
one. Yeah.
Alien was in the 70s, and I think
Late
Aliens
70s,
was
yeah.
like mid 80s.
Well, I know that Star Wars was 77 and Jaws was 75. That's when like science fiction got like Gnarls Barkley. No, but what was the one movie, the best movie of all time? Space Odyssey. That was 1969. That was ahead of its time.
Oh yeah, 2001.
2001.
Yeah.
2001.
Yeah, that was
gnarly.
interesting.
Yeah, that was weird. And I mean, I obviously didn't see it at that time, but I can kind of like, okay, there's like not even television out. There's comic books out. You get the Yankees on TV. And now this movie comes out. And it's talking about like artificial intelligence. Like this is kind of a gnarly thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Spaceballs.
Baseballs. It's a funny movie, but it's hit and miss. There's a lot of great scenes and a lot of
I'll look into
dragged-on
that.
ones.
I'll look into that day in the life. I've never seen
Spaceballs doesn't hold up.
Big Trouble in Little China. You know what the best movie of all time was? The best movie of all time was with Dolph Lundgren called
Dolph Lundgren?
Never mind. It was like something Big Trouble in Little China, but it was
Dolph Lundgren was in Universal Soldier, I think.
No, but he
was
was
a
in this.
soldier, and he was the first Punisher.
Dolph Lundgren was in this one movie. Yeah. I mean, everyone was trying to cash in on this whole like Lou Ferrigno, Arnold Schwarzenegger thing so bad.
He was in the shitty Masters of the Universe movie.
Yeah, he was. He was the main dude. He was He-Man.
He-Man. Yeah, no, that's terrible.
No,
I see. All those old '80s action movies were my
Showdown in Little
Steven
Tokyo.
Seagal movies.
Showdown in Little Tokyo is the most
yes, I remember that.
badass movie of all fucking time.
Yes.
Oh my god! When I remember watching this movie, I thought me and my neighborhood friend who did karate, we were like, "Hey, we're gonna grow up, we're gonna be cops, and we're gonna live in like an RV together."
Todd Porter.
Demolition Man. Simon Says.
Val Kilmer movie where they fill the house full of popcorn. That's real science.
One of the other most badass movies of all time that I watched with my son last year was Bloodsport
Oh, dude, yeah.
with Von Damme.
Hey,
Bloodsport was awesome, man.
Bloodsport
Oh,
was
shit, yeah.
but
That was
everyone
like
knows about
my
this one.
movie. I wanted to be a kickboxer when I saw that movie.
Hey, Chris,
wanna go
look
to
at
Funny how you say that. We watched Kickboxer right after.
Yeah.
Chris, look at the trailer of that. What I just clicked on. Remember the scene? So the bad guy is the dude who was Shang Tsung in Mortal Kombat, the first movie, which made a ton of money with Goro and like the original movie
I remember
Mortal
this
Kombat.
movie.
Oh, this movie was fucking phenomenal, man.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And I remember there's one
It's-
scene
it's,
with
it's with the Yakuza.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, this was as good as any Arnold Schwarzenegger movie aside from Terminator or what was Arnold Schwarzenegger's probably best movie after the first Terminators?
Commando.
No, or what else, what was the other one?
Conan the Barbarian.
Conan the Barbarian. Conan the Barbarian.
No. He had
Last Action Hero.
The Last Action
No,
Hero
the
was
Mars
kind of
one.
funny.
I love Last Action Hero.
Yeah.
Mars one.
Oh, the Total Recall
Oh yeah, Total Recall. Oh, that was great.
and the Running Man. He also did the Running Man. That was
Running
really
Man.
cheesy.
That was
Man's
with
awesome, too.
Running Man was phenomenal. That was with Jim Brown, the pro football player.
Yeah, Jim Brown. But there's also that game show host who was like the MC in there. Who was that?
Yeah, he was like
he was,
a Jerry Jones. He was like a
Richard
he was
Dawson,
the
I think it was.
yeah.
He was the original host of Family Feud.
He was.
Family Feud. That's what it was. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Richard Dawson. Richard Dawson.
I mean,
Richard
that
Dawson,
was
yep.
legitimately what he was doing. It was like Family Feud, but like, hey, we're gonna have slaves die.
Yeah.
Jesse the Body Ventura, the guy that like lights up. Remember the guy that plays hockey with like spikes and needles and shit sticking out?
Yeah, because I think Schwarzenegger at one point, oh, Christmas tree. Like,
Everybody, chill out. No, that was his worst movie of all time.
oh yeah, that was that bad.
Like
Batman.
twins.
No,
Singer
the
Batman movie.
Batman movie. Yeah, the Batman
Oh wait.
movie.
Oh, where he was Mr. Freeze.
Oh shit! Hold on. I think
Yeah.
Chris Radiation might be in here.
It's like, how did the dinosaurs
All right,
die?
we got
The
Chris
Ice
Radiation.
Age.
We got Chris.
It was really bad.
Everybody, chill. All right, I think we got Chris in
Were you
here.
guys ever fans of the old Steven Seagal movies, like was it
Hard
Mark
Target?
Death?
Under Siege is one of my favorite
Under
movies. of
Siege
all
was
time.
good.
And
Under
Bump
Siege,
Along.
the second one was good too. The bad guy in Under Siege 2 was the dad from. You guys remember the movie? The People Under the Stairs.
Yeah.
That was
wow.
that was a great
Flashback.
movie. Great movie.
Pull.
Great
Wow, yeah.
movie, man. Like the
Yeah.
kid from the Inner City Project. Hey, what up, Chris? What's up, Raj? Hey now, there he is, man.
How you doing?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
Look, I'm gonna be
Doing
honest.
good.
All right, everybody, fill up a beer. All right, hold on. Everybody, this is Chris Radiation. I gotta go get one more beer. Uno mas.
I gotta get me a
potty
beer,
break.
too.
I'll be back.
Wait, we can't all go. We can't all pull a chip from.
I'll stay.
You guys go. I'll talk about my favorite movie from that era.
Well, I want to hear
which
this.
is,
Well, can
Well,
you
what-
wait? Can you wait? Can you wait?
yeah.
All right, BRB.
All right. Well, I'll just sit and talk with you, I guess. And while these guys are,
Yeah, Larry, my man.
yeah, welcome to the club for the stream. At least. Let's see here. Very good. Very good. Yeah. Yeah. All these comments you guys got in the chat area here, man. You guys got like this going on with always. Oh, Eraser. That's right. That was another Schwarzenegger movie. End of Day. Man, you guys are just bringing up all kinds of old. Yeah. So yes, so that movie with Val Kilmer, where they filled the house with popcorn, that was Real Science. One of my favorite movies. Hysterical.
Wait, real science, not weird science. Real
Yeah,
science.
there was one called Real Science. Weird Science was the one with like Chet and Rusty from Vacation. And,
That turned into a living pile of shit.
yeah. Chet because of a big pile of shit at the middle of the movie because I love Bill Paxton. That's who it was, Bill Paxton. Yeah,
Game over, man.
Yeah.
Game over.
Game over, man. Yeah. Oh, great freaking movies. Oh man, I wish they made them that way today. I guess. I mean, there's good movies out today, but there's a lot of bad movies also being made today. It's hard to find the good ones out of all the millions of movies being made today that are just on every streaming service. You're like, you go through Netflix or Prime or any of these services, you're like, garbage. Oh, here's some garbage. Yeah, it's hard to find a good flick nowadays.
I think the newest closest thing to those old school action movies are the John Wick ones.
Or the one with Denzel Washington. What's the one where he's like a cashier?
Denzel as a cashier.
When he's always fighting the Russian people when it goes to slow motion, pretty much like they're ripping up that video game, Max Payne.
I can't think of it.
Not Eraser. I'll pull it up right now. No, they're badass though. It's pretty much the same exact movie as John Wick. I'll show you right now.
Oh wait.
The bummer about this though is that there's really no action movies anymore. Like the way that it was in the 90s with the Karate Kid and like the video games of Double Dragon and all that stuff.
Double Dragon was my favorite arcade game back in that era.
It was my favorite arcade game of all time, but you can't all of those people, like every character, like Demolition Man, Sylvester Stallone, they were all cops. And you can't make a cop movie anymore where the cops like the badass killing everything, because cops have like, such a bad rap now. But back in the day, all those movies.
What was the Mel Gibson, Danny Glover ones?
Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon. Yeah. Oh, I'm too old for this shit, he'd always say.
The Equalizer with Denzel Washington. It was bad fucking ass.
I gotta tell you one that's really bad to go back and watch, but it's like bad, like awesome funny, is Cobra with Sylvester Stallone. Cobra. Pretty bad.
Cobra, that's right.
I don't know no Cobra.
He's like
Joe or something?
He goes to get the guy
in a
supermarket that's shooting it up. He's like, "The disease, I'm the cure."
Yeah, that's right.
Like,
that's so right. Bad. I'm the cure.
I don't remember that. Was that 80s or was that 90s?
That was mid 80s.
So
mid 80s.
No.
Yeah.
Meso knows it. Meso's probably my age.
It's something. His name is something Ready, so he's Cobra.
Dude, you know what's funny is I've got a clip from Kindergarten Cop with Arnold Schwarzenegger that I've never used for like the NBC clip when he's screaming, when all the kids are like jumping around the classroom. He looks around, he's like, "Shut up! Shut up! Shut the fuck up!" And I've never put it in the clip, but he's just like stressed out to the point he's gonna like blow a fucking vein in a fuse. He's just like screaming at 4-year-olds. Shut the fuck you up. That was a good movie too.
I did recently watch Twins.
Twins is great.
And
it
holds up pretty good.
The best part about that movie Twins is when he's okay. Does anybody know how Twins works? So the mom was a biological like mom, but she had 2 kids, and they sent out Arnold Schwarzenegger to live on an island, and Danny DeVito is like the chum brother. And remember when Arnold's explaining that to him, he's like, "Vincent, I was on an island where I was loved and I was gorgeous and I was good, and you were here in the States, like you look like a fucking penguin and you're small and shit. You gotta like figure out life." And Danny DeVito's like, "Yeah, okay. I never looked at that way. Okay, we got it all figured out." I'm like, that was the gnarliest thing anybody has ever said to anybody ever. And it got a pass. Like, you can't fucking put that in Hollywood shit nowadays. Vincent, sorry, what's that?
See, I don't know if you guys watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I never got into it. I couldn't do it.
I have a hard time seeing Danny DeVito as anything but Frank.
Right.
In that show. He is just a pile of garbage in that show.
Yeah, but that's what makes him lovable.
I know.
He's amazing. And his role in Romancing the Stone was hilarious. That guy is...
Yeah.
I didn't see that one.
DeVito.
I haven't seen too much.
In the old Taxi show back in the early 80s, late 70s.
With who was the Christopher...
Mary Lou Henner and...
Andy Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman. Yep.
What's the actor's name? The scientist from Back to the Future. Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd. Yeah.
Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah, because he played Jim, the transient cab driver
with the cocaine cookies.
What was the
cocaine cookies?
What was kind of the main actors in the main actor in Taxi? The
Danny
one guy,
DeVito.
I forget his name.
No, there was that pretty face boy, and there was the Alex guy who was the old, I don't know, the old Polak, or his, I don't remember his name.
I don't remember that. I thought it was always
him. Yeah.
I can't think of his name.
Hirsch, yes, Judd Hirsch. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
I mean, I googled it. I didn't know that.
That was fast.
What was the premise for Taxi? Like, what was the pulse of the show? Like, what was the?
It was a cab stand.
It was a cab station
in New York. Yeah, and so the scene always took place in like the cab stand station, and all the dynamics between the different characters and stuff. That's all it was. Yeah.
Okay, so it was just kind of like a weird 2 a.m. crowd, people kind of coming and going, kind of like a lunch break room at Home Depot or some shit.
Yes, yeah, I guess so.
Christopher Lloyd always acted just stoned out of his mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is what, late 70s?
It started late 70s. It went through the early 80s for a bit. Yeah.
Okay. No, that was before my time, man. My time was like, my real time was like Melrose Place, Full House, 90210 was huge, man. I couldn't miss that shit just because I wanted to see my sister. I wanted to bug my sister, but like I actually fell in love with the show, and like Jason Priestley and Luke Perry and all these fucking rich white kids with gel in their hair, like, which was mind blowing at that time. Whoever put that show together at that time, genius.
Yeah, that was.
See, what I grew up on, and the thing that I lived and died by, and at one point my whole room was decorated as it was Dukes of Hazzard.
Okay,
Dukes of Hazzard. With Bo and Luke Duke and Uncle Jesse and Daisy Dukes.
Who was the original Jessica Simpson model?
Oh, that was can't remember her name now, but she was something.
Well, she's got to be, right? It's like the Southern Belle with the,
with the accent,
bossy boots, yeah,
and the short shorts,
yeah.
She was something.
Catherine Bach.
Bach, is that what it was? Yeah, that sounds familiar. Yeah,
I thought it'd be like what was the show? Who were the original Charlie's Angels? Farrah Fawcett.
Farrah Fawcett was one.
Fawcett was one, yeah.
Yeah.
She was the Pam Anderson though, right? She was like the Marilyn Monroe.
She was the sex symbol of the late 70s.
She was the Cameron Diaz of the early 90s. Yeah,
I guess.
Dude, when you're a little kid and you watch The Mask for the first time with Jim Carrey, you can't even probably jerk off or have an orgasm for like 10 more years, but you're still going to get that boner. Cameron Diaz was that fucking hot because The Mask was like do you guys remember the movie The Mask with
oh yeah,
okay, but
Jim Carrey,
right? But the way they did The Mask was they kind of stole that whole like Tim Burton Batman theme. Like it wasn't like the real like Tony Soprano world. They kind of kept it in like the Dick Tracy world, like the fake comic book world.
Yeah, it was. Yes, it was a combination of that and like because the Dick Tracy movie came out a little bit before that.
A little bit before that with Madonna and Warren Beatty. But if you actually look at, and I always think about this because I don't know which is the best Batman, whether it's Christopher Nolan's or Tim Burton's, because the way that Christopher Nolan did Batman, I don't know. It's pretty much like the real world, right? Like Tony Soprano world, and you just drop Batman into it. The way they did The Mask or Dick Tracy or the first two Batmans, it was like, this is just a comic book movie. Like what's a better way to kind of like take in the actual comic book, right? It all came from a comic book with Billy Kane and Billy Fingers. What's a better way to do this? Do we do it in real, like New York downtown, nitty gritty, or do we create kind of our own little ride? So I don't know.
I think the Nolan one, honestly.
Well, which one do you like better, Chris? Both Chris's. What do you guys like better? Christopher Nolan? Do you like it when it's
Nolan?
What's up, Christopher Nolan?
The Christopher Nolan one.
Chris Radiation. What do you like better?
Because like the thing that made that like transfer over that you're just like, holy shit, this is awesome, was Heath Ledger's Joker.
Right.
Oh, it was
It just
awesome.
went from
Phenomenal.
from cartoony to crazy pants.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. And you're like, holy crap. Because I remember watching it in the theater, and it's that scene where he's in there and he slams that guy's head on
Ta-da! Now it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's right through his eye.
Like,
Boom.
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that was
And he's
creepy.
got the suicide bombs in his pocket. Everyone's pulling a gun on him. Yeah. But here,
I don't know.
Before that you had Nicholson's Joker, which
yes.
till then you're like, that's an awesome Joker. But
Yes.
then you see that one, you're like, oh God, that one's so sing-songy and cartoony.
But it's different. It's a different
Yeah.
way the director pulled the character of Batman into different worlds. You know, and even the one with
Joaquin Phoenix.
No. Oh, that was great too.
Did you
but
see the Joaquin Phoenix one?
Yeah, but the Joaquin Phoenix one pretty much riffs off the Christopher Nolan ones. Like, you're just like, here's like the real world, this and that. But the second one with Batman Returns, oh, for sure it does.
It's different, but it's not.
It's not comic booky at all. It's
it's more crazy person.
Crazy.
right, but it's like the real world. What I'm saying is like, here's what I'm saying, Chris, is when they did, remember that scene with Danny DeVito, and he has those penguins that meet him underground in the sewer, and he's popping up through City Hall on a big duck or anything. It's like, that could never work in the Joker or the Christopher Nolan Batman. This is straight comic book. This is straight the way that Batman was written on pen to paper. And I love them both. I don't think, at the end of the day, like, there's no right or wrong.
See, I don't like that penguin just because.
Oh, you didn't like it? I was obsessed with Michelle Pfeiffer
because
after
they
that
made
for a
it,
long time
like,
too.
he was more pathetic. He wasn't menacing. He was just pathetic. That's my problem with it.
He was a bad villain.
I mean, he was a villain, but he was just more pathetic than he was like menacing.
But how was he in the actual movie? Or like, did you guys watch the Adam West stuff?
Oh, I love Adam West. Oh, the all campy shit.
I
Yeah.
love the Burgess Meredith one.
The penguin. Yeah, I love that, man.
Yeah, so
Cheesy as hell, but it's fun.
it was all
have you
cheesy.
Have you seen the new Batman with a Twilight guy?
No, but I want to.
Oh, I did. I did not like it. I thought he was too brooding.
Really?
I thought he was too much of an emo wimp. I thought. I don't know. The story was great.
The Riddler.
The actor, nah.
It's
No.
I don't know yet. I gotta wait for more. I've always said this, like, how it goes is like Michael Keaton's a really good Batman. He, like, as Batman, Michael Keaton's really good. And as for the Christian Bale, he's a better Bruce Wayne than Batman. Then
Hello.
and Edward from Twilight, I don't know. It's kind of it's hard. It's more emo Batman, but
Emo Batman, exactly. Yeah.
Who's the best Alfred? I'm gonna go with Michael Caine.
Michael Caine's good.
He's great.
Yeah.
Alfred, you never gave up on me, did you?
See,
Never.
no one's brought up Batfleck.
Oh, fuck that one. I refuse to believe that Ben Affleck. That's the one where he's got to kill Superman. This is when they're just running out of ideas.
Batman versus Superman. That was dumb, man. That's ridiculous.
Two superheroes that have been like saving the world forever now have to fight to the death because we're out of ideas.
It's Batman.
What do you call it when people stop doing shit? There's like a, what do you call it when people just don't work and they hold out signs and all that shit?
They throw the towel.
No, but like, what's it called?
Panhandle?
No, what's it called when like baseball players quit or writers in Hollywood quit for a little bit?
A sabbatical?
A fight, a streak. I can't think of this right now. It's called something when people like, hey, like we're putting our foot down. We want more wages, and they hang outside and they complain.
Strike.
Yeah, that's like a writer's strike. They're like, okay, what do we do? Well, the writers are gone, so let's just have a thank you, Jaggers Brewing Co. Thank you. Let's just have a Batman fight Superman and see what happens, and then action.
Yeah, so
there you go, transit guy. Did we lose Chris Radiation? Oh man,
Chris Radiation. Oh, that's a bummer. I guess we got a bad signal or something, maybe, huh?
Dad, Chris, thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Poor child, seriously.
Thanks for joining for a while, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Participating in 80s movie talk.
Yeah, no, this is what it's all about, man. This is all I do on Homebrew for Life. It's all just memes and the shit that inspired me from growing up, and I try to use this stuff every shot that I can get. He's back. Okay, just we
He's
thought
back?
it was
Okay.
safe. I think so.
All right.
I'm trying to get my kids to watch.
Hey.
My next 80s like thing I'm trying to get my kids to watch is Better Off Dead. I don't know if you guys are familiar
Oh, great
with it.
movie.
I don't know that one either, man. Hey, really quick though. Nobody say this in the chat, but what is Chris Radiation's avatar right there? That's the best name of any beer, any band.
Yeah, it's One-Eyed Willie.
It's One-Eyed Willie. It's One-Eyed
I
Willie.
didn't see that. What's
Yeah,
that?
it's One-Eyed Willie from the Goonies, and when he sees it, Sean Astin has to. He's got to do his inhaler. Yeah.
Babe Ruth.
That's where Battery 245. That's where he's from.
That's One-Eyed Willie. Is that Chuck from the Goonies?
Yeah. That's Oregon, Pacific Northwest. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny, man.
Jonathan Elliott.
Dude, I need to do some mushrooms and watch that shit soon.
Who I haven't seen in here in a very long time is Jonathan.
Jonathan Elliott. Yeah, I hope he's doing okay.
Yeah,
Him and Eric Lane.
I get emails from him every now and again, but you know,
He's doing okay? Is he still like
I think
up and
so.
running with his brewery?
I don't know if the brewery's up and running yet, but I think he's doing okay.
One-Eyed Willie, man. When you guys were little, did Goonies scare the shit out of you, kind of?
Oh yeah, see,
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
add to that, a couple years ago when my kids were a little younger, I tried, like, me and my wife were like, hey, we're going to watch Goonies tonight. You guys will love it. And they freaked out when Throw Mama from the Train had the knife to the kid's neck.
Okay.
Oh, the mom. Yeah.
Remember that in that opening
Goonies
scene?
never
She's
say
like,
that.
"Ugh." And so, like, they absolutely flipped shit. So we're like, all right, we're going to put this on pause. And then we came back to it later, and they love it.
It was that, though? It wasn't Sloth? I always thought Sloth was going to fucking eat
Nah.
my goddamn face off.
It was the knife.
Like the shackles and chains, like screaming, like turns around all slow. He's looking at
I didn't
Chunk.
freak out about that. Yeah.
Rocky Road. You know, that was a round one drafted Raiders player.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Look up the guy that played Sloth.
Hilarious.
When he's like staring and his tooth's over there and his ears wiggling, I was like, dude, this is fucking gnarly.
So, yeah. Wow.
So
all
we
this
lost
nostalgia, man. I'm
lost
getting overwhelmed
Chris, man.
here.
What's up?
All this nostalgia. I'm getting overwhelmed.
All right, one more question. We'll get out of here. Larry, what's your favorite movie of all time?
Being put on the spot and not having a good answer, I always default to the Blues Brothers.
We're talking the original
one.
one.
Oh, the one and only.
The one and only, man.
Teenage
Rest in peace, John Belushi.
John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd filmed in my own hometown here, man.
There you go.
Yeah.
With Ray Charles, man.
Ray Charles, John Lee Hooker, Aretha Franklin. Oh, man, a whole bunch of freaking people in that movie, man. A whole
Everybody's in
bunch.
it.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of people in the movie.
Yeah.
It's like, we got both kinds. Country and Western was one of my favorite quotes. At Bob's Country Bunker.
Pack of smokes,
Country bunker.
full tank of gas.
Is that a real place?
It's 100 miles to Chicago. We have a half a tank of gas, full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it. It's like it's the quote.
All right, Chris, what's your favorite movie of all time?
I gotta say Jaws.
Yeah, good answer. Both
love
fucking
Jaws.
great answers, man. You know, Quentin
love that
Tarantino
movie
says
so
that
much.
that's the best movie of all time. He said
Jaws,
said,
really?
yeah.
Steven Spielberg did that when he was like 32. He was like
Yeah,
32,
yeah.
33, man. Now he's like 80. But,
see-
oh, here he is. He's back.
Look, I'm gonna be honest.
He
I
had a
don't really
really-
like beer that much.
Things that you don't know about that movie, they like had an animatronic like,
Josephied.
shark that they were gonna like show
Scrap.
all these shots of.
Yeah, they had such
and it
hard.
broke.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so they're like, all right, we're going to use some B footage and we're just going to use close up shots and that's it.
Right.
And it worked out to their advantage.
Good answer. All right, Chris Radiation. Okay, so we've got Blues Brothers. We've got Jaws. Favorite movie of all time.
Me.
Stuck on an island. You get one beer, one movie, and one album. We'll go back and we'll start.
All right. So the beer is Brooklyn Summer Ale. That's
Okay.
easy. The movie is probably between The Godfather and The Big Lebowski.
Damn good fucking answers.
Nice.
That's a hard
Yeah,
choice.
Big Lebowski is a good second for me, man. That's a great movie. Yeah,
Yeah,
right, absolutely.
that's top 5.
Yeah.
And then the album. Holy shit, that's a hard question to answer.
Think
It's
about this, Chris Radiation. It's got to be a long album because if it's like a punk rock band, the songs are fucking 2 minutes and there's only 8 of them. So you want to go like Beethoven or Led Zeppelin
Floyd's The Wall.
live or something. Yeah, something for vinyls or something. You know, Sandinista from the Clash. There's 4
I
albums in that
want
one.
to say Abbey Road. The B side of Abbey Road is the best side of any album, in my opinion.
Okay, so what was
Sure,
the
that's
beer?
good, too.
What was the ale you said?
Oh, it's Brooklyn Summer Ale.
Brooklyn Summer, Abbey
like a
Road, Big Lebowski. Okay,
Yeah.
Lebowski's great.
we'll
I love
we'll,
me.
we'll
That's
go.
good
Around,
truth.
we'll keep going around the counterclockwise. Vodka. I know Give us the band and the music, or give us the beer and the music.
All right.
Jaws.
I'm going to say, well, do you want just style or a beer from a beer company?
It's one for eternity, man. The one beer that you're gonna love that's gonna make you go fucking crazy.
I'm going to say a hazy IPA, man.
Okay.
Love them. Love
And
them.
then what band?
I know it's very trendy, but I absolutely love them.
That's
And
perfect answer.
music is probably, let's say Guar. I'm going to say Scum Dogs of the Universe.
Just imagine Chris Vodka getting fucked up on an island, watching Jaws, drinking hazy IPAs, and listening to Guar for all of eternity.
It's awesome.
That needs to be a poster. All right, Larry, what do you got, man? Beer and band.
Beer. Well, beer. If I had to choose a single beer that suits all seasons and places, I would have to go with a Vienna Lager. One of my favorite all-around styles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that a style you can drink when it's cold as motherfucking shit and when it's hot as all hell?
Oh yeah, that's a style of beer. That's a lager. It's refreshing, but not too heavy for the summer. It's also flavorful and delicious in the colder months too. I think it's a good year-round beer, in my opinion.
That's a great choice.
Yeah, yeah. And you talk about like albums again. It goes. It depends on my mood, but if I go back over the decades, I was always a big Pink Floyd fan. I always liked the Wall album.
Yeah.
You know, but that's kind of a moody album. You got to be in the mood for it. So it's probably not a spot here. So I'll just stick with that.
Sorry, I got you guys back. Okay. The Pink Floyd Wall, it froze up. Okay. I'm
That's
sorry.
fine.
We cut you off a little bit there, Larry. Pink Floyd,
That's okay.
Vienna Lager,
Floyd,
and
yeah.
Blues Brothers.
And then in the Blues Brothers. That's earlier.
All right.
Or the Lebowski. I mean, honestly, but that's a classic movie too,
La
man.
la 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 la. The man in me will do
That's the movie, man. I'm the
most
dude.
nearly anything.
Dude.
Yeah.
I have so many movies too that I can't pick from. Like if you had to ask me comedy wise, I'd be like, I don't know, Turkeys or
All right.
Kingpin.
Porky's is so good.
Porky's. Oh, Porky's from like the. Oh yeah,
Can't
that was
do
an
that movie anymore. That's almost up there with Blazing Saddles, man. I watched that the other day and I was like, I'm glad
Blazing
that
Saddles,
yeah. I'm glad that shit didn't cancel.
That's tied with my other favorite comedy, which is Young Frankenstein.
Oh, dude,
so much.
People swear. Hey, Chris Vodka, I'm embarrassed that people swear by Young Frankenstein, but comedy is one of those things where like you have to be like there to appreciate it. You know, like the way that I appreciate Tommy Boy is the way my dad is obsessed with planes, trains, and automobiles. The way I'm obsessed with
movie too.
Oh yeah,
movies, yeah.
Oh, dude, the best fucking A Day in the Life just wrote Kingpin. I think Kingpin is literally the best road trip movie of all time, and I think that the best comedy is
awesome.
Kingpin's fucking phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
Do you want me to tell you the best Halloween movie of all time?
The first one?
Oh no,
The Burbs from the 60s?
The what?
Oh,
Burbs with Tom Hanks.
Oh, dude,
the Burbs.
that's with Princess Leia. That's with
Yeah.
That's with
Carrie Fisher.
Carrie Fisher, and that's that dude who's the limo driver from Blank Check, who's funny as hell, man.
Oh yeah,
That is my family's every Halloween time movie.
Dude.
And we'll watch that at least 3 times.
Chris Vodka, when he's on vacation, she's like, "You want to go up to the mountains?" He's like, "No, I want to do nothing except stay here and drink 35 beers and have a wardrobe on."
And then the son is like, "Oh, Ricky Butler says they're night crawlers."
I used that clip a couple times when the dog brings him up the bone, and he's like, "That's not a dog bone. That's clearly a human femur." And they start.
That is a very, very underrated movie.
It's a very underrated movie, and you know what? The 2 scenes I love in that movie are who's the crazy '80s kid that is kind of a fuck up now?
Oh, that's
Corey Feldman.
Corey Feldman?
Yeah, Corey Feldman. Yeah. And that last scene at the end when the house blows up and the ambulance and everything shows up and he still wants to fight Walter after he's like, "Dude, they're fine." And he's like, "Somebody just kill me. Put me on the bed." He like runs and jumps on a bed when he has an eye patch on. that's Tom Hanks is
my
the
favorite
shit, man.
character.
Tom Hanks
My
is the
favorite
goddamn
character
man.
from that movie is the ex-army guy.
Oh yeah, with his his trophy wife. Yeah.
When he's in their house and he's like, "Opek, what is that, Slavic?"
Yeah. What is the last scene when he's getting ready to shoot the OPEC guy? He's like, "Whoa, like, slow down, Pinocchio." When he's dressed up like when he's dressed up with this green German shit. "Hey, where do you think you're going, Pinocchio?" Yeah, and he's got the wife that does she's on her hands and knees on all fours picking up
he's got the trophy wife.
Yeah, he's raising the American flag every morning. No, that was good, and like that's how I kind of remembered like my parents first being married, like late 80s, early 90s, like before social media, like everybody just kind of like snooped on your neighbors.
Oh man, you guys been having flashbacks to all this stuff. You guys are making me think.
So I timed out earlier, and I wanted to bring up a movie that I absolutely loved from the 80s, and it was an action flick called The Last Dragon.
No, I haven't seen
Bruce
that.
Leroy.
Again.
Does Larry know that?
Bruce Leroy in Shonuff, the Shogun of Harlem. Yeah.
I don't remember.
I think that would be described as a blaxploitation film. It was a Berry Gordy film, but
it was
incredible.
The only 80s blaxploitation film.
Yeah, because all the rest were in the 70s.
The only other one that's closer to that is They Call Me Bruce. Have you?
They Call Me Bruce. One of my favorite comedies of the 80s, man. I was crying laughing.
I'm gonna look this up. Nobody leave though. Hold on.
They Call Me Bruce is the classic.
It's like, "You are the last dragon."
So good. So good. Yeah.
Me and my little brother went and saw that in the movie theater probably 2 years ago.
Oh wow.
Oh
Bruce
man,
Leroy.
so much good stuff to think about, man. It's hard to choose a favorite, but yeah, you guys keep bringing up new movies. I'm like, not new, but old, but
Yeah.
flashbacks.
The
man.
other
We're the
movies,
best. We're the
there's
best
two other
generation.
movies. Yeah, the two other movies from that era that I got mentioned is Rad, the BMX movie. Loved
Yes.
that.
Yes.
And then the
With
second
Crew.
one was Iron Eagle with Doug
Iron
Mathews,
Eagle with like Lewis Gossett
basically.
Jr.
Yes.
Iron-
You know
Yeah.
that Iron Eagle movie is what inspired me to apply to the Air Force Academy when I was in high school. Man, that was my goal, was to fly F-16s. Man,
How old are you, Chris?
Dude, yes.
You broke up a little bit. How
I've
old
been
are you?
having, yeah, I've been having some CPU issues on this thing.
maybe it's time to get a faster computer.
Yeah, probably. I had to like rush up here and connect it.
'Cause
That's
I
okay.
think,
Yeah.
I think
You know,
we're all very similar in age. Us three. 'Cause I turned 48 after the first of the year.
Probably, yeah, that's probably why we're all referring to 80s movies now. I mean, some
I
people
know.
on this call are like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? Where's a good 2005 movie? Oh, come on, guys.
So the newest, the best newest comedy that I've ever seen, and I'll still watch it over and over again, is Step Brothers.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I prefer the uncut version that's online, not the theatrical version, because there's so much more raunchier shit in that version. It's awesome.
Well, earlier this year, I went on a tear, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna watch a whole bunch of movies that I haven't seen in a very long time. So I rewatched Revenge of the Nerds.
That's a great one.
Honestly, it holds up pretty damn.
It holds
good.
up pretty well, doesn't it? Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
it holds up good.
Well.
It.
It holds up from our point of view, but that shit will never be shown as a new movie today because of the whole
No.
some of the scenes would be considered like faux pas today. You know.
See, yeah, it's one of those movies that are just like that can never be made again.
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
But and then I watched the second one, and that one's hot garbage. That one's not good.
Yeah. The sequels are not so good.
And then I watched the first two Police Academy movies.
Classic, of course.
Yeah, and they're pretty good.
It's still pretty good today. I mean, they're fucking hysterical. You know, but there's got to be more recent movies that people are interested in. But you know,
comedy wise, it's hard, man.
It's hard comedy wise because they cut off the fun.
I still go back to Animal House and Caddyshack.
Animal House, Caddyshack, all those old Lapoon stuff. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of those movies, did you see that biography that was on? Is it Netflix or something? It was called "A Futile and Stupid Gesture."
Mm-mm.
So,
what's it about?
So the guy Michael Kenny or Kenny something or other, he was the guy who invented National Lampoon the magazine at Harvard, and he went on to found National Lampoon movies. He produced Animal House, Caddyshack, and a bunch of other movies. And he ended up.
Was he the one that was because he was in Animal House. He was a really nerdy looking guy that had big glasses.
Stork. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He actually was. So this movie, I think it's on Netflix. It's called A Futile and Stupid Gesture, and it's a biography of that author or producer or director or whatever, going back to the times when they were filming these other movies that we all just mentioned, and walking through his biography of like his life struggles during that time and stuff. I mean, it's actually really interesting the way it's told. I mean, so it's called A Futile and Stupid Gesture, or A Stupid and Futile Gesture. It's one of the other. It's definitely worth watching. If you're a fan of those movies and you want to know the backstory behind these movies, go watch this biography of this guy. I mean, it's kind of sad at the end because he offs himself because he's depressed and shit. But it's actually hysterical, and it gives you some good insight as to some of the decisions made when they made these movies and why they did them.
Yeah, because he was really good buddies with Harold Ramis and all
Harold Ramis. Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. Yeah.
And then Harold Ramis co-wrote like a lot of that stuff.
See if I can find it here. It's called Feudal. Let me find it on Netflix here. It's called a Feudal and oh damn it! I gotta search for it. Feudal.
Another lost no one brings it up comedy movie is 1941.
Oh, that's another classic one with John Belushi in it. Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to find that.
Yeah. It's pretty good. It's the guy's name was Doug Kenny. Doug Kenny was the guy's name. Yeah. And he made those movies. He was the National Lampoon founder. So anyway, backstory.
I didn't know he was the founder. I knew he was part creator of that stuff, but I didn't know he was a founder.
Yeah, a co-founder. It says here actually. Yeah, a co-founder, but
it's cool.
Yeah. So anyway, flashback. It's worthwhile if you're into those old movies like that, and it kind of it's funny because they kind of like reenact scenes from those movies, like they're on the set, like filming them, like as they're being shot. You know, it's actually kind of funny. It's cool.
The cool thing is like as my kids get older, I'm trying to show them that stuff.
Clean up some shit.
Like I want them to appreciate it because I'm like this stuff is the shit. When I showed my son like Bloodsport for the first time, he was just like, "That's so awesome!" Like it was just like it blew his mind, and I'm just like, "Oh hell yeah!"
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. So like. And then, like, I think the next thing I'm going to try to do with the kids is I'm going to try to do weekend at Bernie's.
Dude.
Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, the barrage from 16 Candles or Sweet 16.
Yeah.
Andrew Glover.
Yeah, I can't think of his name either.
Yeah.
No, I
wasn't. Those John Hughes movies, you know, like that.
The best. Rest in peace, John Hughes.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
R.I.P. Man, the guy had the fucking best ever, man. Really did. Like and it was always in Chicago. I know that's why Larry probably likes that because it was always like the same house or the same suburbia or the same.
I could relate.
my favorite
I'd be stoked if it was
Hughes
from
movie.
San Diego.
Yeah.
My favorite John Hughes movie.
What up, James?
Is Uncle Buck.
Uncle Buck, man.
Uncle Buck, yeah. There you go.
Which made the most money? It's got to be Home Alone, right? Like, no questions asked. Macaulay
Home
Culkin,
Alone?
by
Yeah.
far.
Home Alone came after Uncle Buck because Uncle Buck was the first time you saw Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, but which movie made the most money? I'd bet a lot of money. Home Alone.
Yeah.
Home Alone.
Yeah.
Home Alone.
And that was supposedly shot in Chicago too, but not really.
Rocking around the Christmas tree, had a happy holiday night.
One of my favorite Chicago film movies was
who really
Groundhog Day.
Oh, Groundhog Day is the best.
Awesome.
But who really made Home Alone? Was it the kid or was it Joe Pesci? Because
I think it was Joe Pesci and the other guy,
Wet Bandits.
Yeah, the Wet Bandits were pretty fucking good.
Yeah, the other guy, I can't remember his name.
Marv.
Marv.
He was also in City Slickers.
He was also in City Slickers, but he was also the voice of Kevin in the sitcom The Wonder Years.
Was he?
Was?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he was his brain. He was the narrator. Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't know that either.
What was his name?
Daniel something.
Daniel Stern.
Stern.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Daniel Stern.
Yeah, like what was bigger? Was it the kid or was it Joe Pesci coming off that like Goodfellas casino fucking vibe and just getting ready to fucking shred? Because he's got that golden tooth, the fake cop, like the worst bad guy, the crummiest looking pile of shit.
Honestly,
a combination of all of it.
A combination. I'm not a fan of the Macaulay kid. I preferred the other two dudes that were, to me, that made the movie.
But the kid nailed it. Like, the little kid was like,
Yeah.
But it had to come down, like, was there a movie before that where it was like a 5-year-old kid that was like out conning bad guys? Was there a kid, like, was it like Swiss Family Robinson or something, where like there was like a 6-year-old kid that had this like blueprint and he could, set up all these booby trap? Maybe the Goonies. Yeah, Goonies for sure. They
Goonies
did
kind of like
maybe,
that.
yeah.
Goonies for sure.
It's like Short Run. Yeah.
Yeah, like people eat that shit up. Like little kids that are out conning.
Only other kid like centric movie that would classify that would be maybe like Christmas Story.
I've never seen Christmas Story.
Oh, that's a classic.
I've never seen Christmas Story. I just know
That's another Chicago area film.
it's all Chicago.
Is it really?
It's supposedly took place in Hammond, Indiana, which is right across the state line, right next. Yeah.
But hey, you know what? It's funny because we've never thought about this, but that's a common theme. Because remember watching like the Three Ninjas and everything was like three and little kids kicking ass after this, guy of the house and this and that. Did the Goonies kind of create that? Because that sold a lot of fucking tickets. That made a lot of money, man. Like guys breaking into the house, but kids know karate, or they know booby traps, or they know remote control. Yeah, there was like this thing that went on forever where like kids could be like, we set up a booby trap. And we used to do that as kids, like dig a hole in the ground and then have like the babysitter come over, but we put like the welcome mat on top of it and then put leaves over it. But the babysitter never walked on it. And then like the neighbor's dog would come over and like fall in it and break his leg. And my dad would beat the shit out of me. Like,
do you know I got in deep shit one year. I wanted to dig a tunnel in the backyard. I dug a hole in the backyard. My dad came running out there and
he fell in it
because he thought I was going to hit like a cable line or something.
Yeah, or a water line or a metal conduit line. Yeah.
Yeah, and so my dad's like, no.
What happened to Chris Radiation? Is that it?
No, he fell off again.
Well, he's in the chat, but no, but that's a weird thing though, because that was a theme. Like back in the early '80s or the late '80s, early '90s, it was like these kids that could out con the B&E guy, the bad guy.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking.
And that movie made a ton of money, man. Remember the movie with the Three Ninjas, like Rocky Tum Tum and Rocky Tum Tum. Yep. Rocky loves Emily.
Be right back.
Rocky loves Emily. Rocky, Tum Tum, and Cole. Larry, was that past your time?
No, I had to go take a 10-100. I'm back.
No, but did you remember that though? The Three Ninjas, when it was like that era in the early '90s where these kids could just beat the shit out of like these kids could save the world, because that was never around.
Yeah, I don't recall that.
Yeah, that was kind of my era. It was never like a kid's team could beat like a pro football team. It was like kids could actually just beat like the dumb bad guy, like the dumb like assassin guy or whatever. I don't know. Spy Kids, Agent Cody Banks. Can you still make that movie now where like there's a 5-year-old like Mary Kate or Ashley Olsen that's like the James Bond? Or do people still buy into that shit? Or was that just a 90s thing?
I don't know, man. That was never my shtick. I never much care for that kind of stuff.
But it sold, man. It sold. Like Spike. Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, Larry, when you were growing up, like who was the James Bond at that time? Was it Pierce Brosnan?
James Bond. I was watching him. Roger Moore was kind of the thing back when I started, because I was probably the first Roger Moore one after Sean Connery. For Your Eyes Only, I think it may have been, or one of those. That was probably my first James Bond movie I ever saw. I didn't see the Sean Connery ones until a little later. I actually went back and watched the older ones after the Roger Moore ones. So
okay,
I was kind of in reverse order.
So I came in at Pierce Brosnan, which was the Nintendo 64 one. That was GoldenEye. That was phenomenal.
Okay.
That was awesome. Do you remember Goldeneye?
Oh yeah, I do. I just
Awesome.
that was a little later on. Yeah. I still think Sean Connery, as the whole, from all of them, I think Sean Connery was still the original badass, man. I mean, that dude. Those movies back then were just classic, man. I mean, just the
Willow,
the scenes and the era.
Yeah.
What's that?
What was the name? Like Pussy Willow? Like what was the odd
Oh,
job?
the Roger Moore one?
Yeah.
Octopussy?
Octopussy.
Yeah, so that was a good one too.
Octopussy.
You know?
Well, without James Bond, you know what else we'll never get is Austin Powers. And a lot of spin-offs and bullshit, you know.
Oh, sure. Austin Powers was a great mockery of some of that stuff.
It was a great parody. Austin Powers was some of the fuck you and fuck me and, you know, and...
No, you potty mouth. No, fuck you. Fuck me.
Fuck you, fuck me.
Man.
Dr. Evil. Have you seen that clip of... not Mike Myers. Who's the other guy that played Wayne or Garth?
Dana Carvey.
Yeah, have you heard him go on Howard Stern and kind of talk about that?
No, I don't think so. No.
Yeah, so I don't know if you picked up on this, and I didn't pick up on this, but so Dana Carvey created Dr. Evil, and Mike Myers got the role. And all Dana Carvey did was make fun of Lorne Michaels. So Lorne Michaels is the creator of SNL, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, really? Like, oh, okay. Like, oh, this. So Dana Carvey, that was his character. And then Mike Myers got that big role, $20 million a movie or whatever. And they've got like bad animosity forever now over the last like 30 years. But Dana Carvey cracks jokes on Howard Stern. He's like, so Howard's like, hey, man, like, do you ever talk to Mike Myers anymore? Is everything cool? He's like, yeah, you know, after like 16 years of therapy, like 3 times a day, you know, we're like working things out, you know. But hey, man, you know, it's show business, and I can't relate to that, nor do I ever want to relate to that. But like sometimes you fucking, you know, answer the call and I'd imagine take the job and see what happens. And there's a lot of flops and a couple things that are successes, and that's how it works.
Yeah, I see a comment there from My Day in the Life. So I married an axe murderer.
So good. Good. I got trivia question. For you, Larry. What's the name of the meat, the Scottish meat that they pick up at the deli?
Haggis.
And I've never had it.
I will never have it. It sounds gross, man.
It sounds disgusting. Or it sounds beautiful. I haven't figured it out, but I've never had haggis.
It's like stuffed sheep intestines or something like that. Yeah, it's no.
Like Mexican menudo?
I don't know, man.
Haggis.
Haggis, yeah.
Chris Vodka, have you had haggis? Oh shit.
No, I never had it.
Hold on.
I never had it.
I'm gonna kill you guys really fast and bring you back.
Yeah, a smoking a pancake, a bung and a blade. Austin Powers references again. Oh, I love that movie. Oh man! All right. Well, hey guys, did we lose some guys? Hello? Oh, we lost some guys. I'm not sure what happened here.
I think I'm back.
I'm still here. I hope.
Back. I'm throwing in some.
Can you hear me, Larry?
Oh,
I'm throwing in some chewing tobacco. Are we still here?
Oh yeah. All of a sudden, things got quiet, and we lost some connections. And then
no, it happens. You know how it is.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Like I started, my computer decided to restart on it itself.
But yeah.
There he is. Yeah. All right, here we go.
Sorry, guys.
You're all back. Okay.
There we go. I need some tobacco in my life. I need some.
My computer was at like 5%, and I plugged it in, and it decided to restart. I'm like, ooh, shit.
Oh, that's not good. That's not.
Yeah.
I think there's a girl coming over, and I just threw in like a Big Dipper. I don't think girls are into chewing tobacco.
Oh, girls love
I don't
that.
think so.
I think that's like I think they hate this more than cigarette smoking. You guys want to see a girl?
Oh yeah, girls do not like you spitting it into a cup, man. They just gross. They get grossed out.
I always have visions of chewing. I remember a couple of my buddies used to do that in high school, and I remember I had a teacher that made them gut it.
Ooh. What do you mean?
What?
Like
to swallow it?
He caught him in school in class chewing, and he's like, swallow it.
Oh man. Oh, dude,
you
no.
could never do that anymore. That's like worse than assault. Like you're gonna throw up all over class.
Oh man, I was playing poker about a year ago in our usual poker den on Friday nights, and we had a guy come over for the first time, and
he swallowed it, didn't he?
Well, no, not him. The guy was chewing and spitting into a bottle, but he actually used the guy next to him's empty beer bottle to spit in. So the guy thought it was still his bottle because it had liquid in it about this so high. So he took a big swig out of what he thought was his beer and swallowed a big gulp of this other guy's freaking spit and stuff. And it was nasty, dude. I was starting to dry heart just for him watching it. It was so nasty. He's like, why did you spit in my old bottle? I was like, well, it was empty. It's like, yeah, but I thought it was my beer. It's my beer bottle. Let's spit your own beer bottle.
Dude, Larry, I can kind of one up that story. Not trying to, but
go ahead. I mean, it's just ugh.
No, guys that have woken up and they think that it's like a Diet Coke or something, and they'll just chug somebody's dipper spit.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that happen twice. Yeah,
nasty, man. Oh, so gross.
It is gross. It's disgusting. Big shout out to Joseph, man. Joseph, she's gonna ask you to share it. I think I'm going to try to get a girl over.
One of my friends used to do that because he'd have 2 bottles of Mountain Dew in his car. One that he drank out of and one that he spit in. And he'd occasionally get confused.
Oh, no.
Goddamn.
No. That's why you drink it out of a glass and spit in the bottle. So nasty.
Sometimes you know, if you're immune to it, you can kind of like build it, up a little bit because it's all about, parts per million. But if you're brand new to it and somebody hates chewing tobacco and you take a sip of it, you're going to remember that forever.
Man, so gross. Oh,
forever.
Man.
See,
I
never did chewing tobacco, but I'm a recovered smoker. Like I smoked for like 15 years.
How'd you quit, Chris?
I just, that was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done. And like,
for a lot of people, it's more difficult than heroin. Which I don't believe, but okay.
I would probably say last 2 years is when 2 years ago is when I started becoming like, really like it grosses me out. Before then, I would still like see someone smoking and be like, oh God, the cigarette sounds so good. And like, I slowly stopped. I think the hardest thing was to do was not smoke when I was drinking and not smoke when I was driving.
Driving is autopilot because I used to smoke a pack a day, bro. And just turning your ignition on, your hand would just go further to the right and grab the lighter and the whatever, the Camel Crush or the Marlboro.
Dude, driving was harder than drinking. Like not having a cigarette when I was driving.
Wow. Yeah. Habits, right? You get into I imagine.
You get into a habit, and you're so right, Chris, because when I used to buy a pack a day, I'm talking like 15 years ago. When I dropped out of college for a year and I got surgery on my shoulder, I smoked a pack a day, Marlboro Lights. You only appreciate like 2 out of 3 of those cigarettes. It's like the one in the morning that kind of gets you out of bed, the one at night that's
the first one.
The first one and the last one that kind of is like, hey, this is my nightcap. I just cleaned my dishes. I got my friends out of the house, this and that. The other 17 are just autopilot. They're just cracking your knuckles. It's just snapping your neck.
Yeah, see, for me, it was the lunch cigarette because like I'd work all morning and I couldn't smoke. But then lunchtime, I'd light one up and I'm like, ooh, that's good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean, man. And the thing that I would hate myself about cigarettes, because I always really wanted to smoke when I was just drinking, because I do appreciate tobacco. I really do. Like in an American form and in this form, like, you know, it's not about two cigarettes are going to kill you. It's when you wake up hungover, and cigarettes, the way that they market them are like pretty much Skittles, you know, like natural spirits. It's like blue or purple or yellow or red. And you try to find your car.
That was my brand.
Yeah, and you try to find your car keys, and you look at that pack of cigarettes, you're like, I'll just smoke one for no reason. Well, now it's on. That's how they got you. Like, now you're like, okay, now I work construction, or I have a shitty job. What are you going to do every break now? Smoke a cigarette. You know, but it's that one that like you didn't want. That like the pack just looked at you because it looked like a little kid looking at like a Nutrageous bar or a Reese's Pieces or Tropical Skittles or whatchamacallit or Laffy Taffy, and then you smoke it and you're like, now I'm a cigarette smoker.
I wasted so much money when I was trying to quit, because what I would do is I quit, I'm not smoking for a week, and I wouldn't touch it, and I'd break down and buy a pack, and then I'd smoke 2 cigarettes, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? And I'd throw it away.
Dude, I do that. I do that all the time.
The following week, I do the same thing.
I do that all the time. And not only that, but I would go one step further. I would take 3 out. I'd come home, and I would put them under the faucet and hit them with water, so I couldn't go through them in the morning and go through the trash because they were already fucking.
Oh,
really?
The emotions that you go through Wow, I never had any addiction to cigarettes, thankfully, but
that's good, Larry. Like I'm not surprised, but
my cigarette thing fucked me on like cigars, because I used to like cigars, but I can't do cigars because what will happen is like I'll try to smoke them like a cigarette, and I'll get fucking sick as shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Same with me. I talked about that earlier.
Yeah, I can't do cigars. They smell.
Because when you're a cigarette smoker, you can't go to cigars because you just want to rip the whole thing.
No.
You can't do it. That's exactly why Larry can smoke cigars, because he was never a cigarette smoker. It's true. It's true. Yeah.
But every now and again, like it's every now and like I don't have the cravings anymore. But every now and again, I'm like. Cigarette sounds kind of good, but then I no, I don't need that.
If they sold cigarettes by the 2-pack, people wouldn't get addicted to cigarettes.
Yeah,
because they'd wake up and just be like, I don't have that 17 extra to look at that gets me hooked. But if you watch that movie with Aaron Eckhart, Thank You for Not Smoking, it's like one of the best marketing college videos like you should ever watch. He's like, as long as I get one person here to smoke cigarettes, I get paid for this flight, you know? Because like most people, maybe not now, but in the 60s, especially in the 80s, like my dad and my mom, they're like, dude, every teenage kid smokes cigarettes. That doesn't happen nowadays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like Larry,
I remember the group of kids that every time, and I was part of it, that went out in high school to smoke cigarettes.
I remember my mom was telling me like her doctor would smoke cigarettes, like the dentist would smoke cigarettes like while they were like pulling cavities out. Imagine a doctor like ashing on like your shirt, maybe even in your mouth, and working on your teeth. Like that was.
I still remember being a little kid and being able to. I remember people smoking on the airplane.
Oh, airplanes, and offices at work and stuff, you know.
Smoking on an airplane sounds like the craziest thing of all time nowadays. Like of all time. Like you're in this little fucking cabin with fake air coming through.
This tube in the sky.
That shouldn't, airplanes literally like on paper shouldn't exist. Like every time I'm in an airplane that takes off or I'm looking at airplanes, I'm like, how did this thing like actually like go up? I don't know. But it does.
I used to love flying on airplanes, but like as I get older, I have like super giant anxiety about it now.
Really?
Like I flip out like during takeoff. Like I can't deal with it. I have to take medicine. 'Cause
Really?
I freak out.
Oh, it's the only time in my life I'm at peace.
Really?
Yeah, because it's out of my control.
Once we get in the air, I'm okay. Landing, I'm fine. But the whole process of like
That's so weird because that's like
on
such.
board, taking off,
No,
I flip out.
No, Chris, that's a common thing. Like 1 in every 10 people like can't fly. I'd rather
I can
like
fly, but I'll freak out.
no, like I'd rather be on an airplane every day than be in a car with Alias. And ask Noam. Like he's one of those people.
Is he a shit driver?
Well, he's one of those guys that always has to be like switching lanes and cutting people off and going and like I had cars my whole life that were just old and didn't go slow, so I always stayed in not the far right lane.
Is he a brake gas guy? Brake gas.
Dude, we were going probably 90 miles per hour in the fast lane, and someone hit the brakes, and he's like skidded out, and I was like, "Whoa, dude, I wasn't into that." And he's like, "Dude," and this guy also like drag races, so he does this shit all the time. But I looked at Gnome in the back, and Gnome was like, "Dude, I was like cool the whole time." I was like, "You were in the fast lane, and we were tailgating somebody so fast here in Texas that we had to slam the brakes to the point we skidded out, and there was no fender bender." And like this has never happened to me my whole life.
The reason I say that is in Alias's defense, because I'm an old car guy too, and I I do a lot of that shit too. I used to.
No, I don't like. I don't like going fast in
people,
cars, man. But I'll be on a jet plane with somebody just
driving with me.
No, I can't do it. Larry, do you like that? Are you a backseat driver? If a guy's like switching lanes and going all crazy, do you have peace of mind or?
No, I will never drive with them again.
Same with me. Yeah, see, I'm like that. Yeah, I'm exactly like that.
I'm that guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm done.
I'm done, man. And the way I see it is like, what are you going to do? You're going to like cut everybody off, switch all these lanes and like brake and stop just to get to a place like what, like 30 seconds faster? It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, at the same time, risky not just your life, but everyone else around you. It's kind of stupid,
No, the way I drive, man, I drive slower than fucking Miss Daisy. No, I really do. I don't like going fast on my buddies that have dirt bikes that have brought me to the desert. Like, I'm a fucking serious bummer. My buddies that have like brought me to buy guns and shoot guns, I don't shoot the gun. I just kind of walk around all fucking weird. Just pray that the day is over faster. Like the sun is coming down faster than normal. The dirt bike shit, they're going like 60, 70 miles per hour out in like Mexico. I'm the dude who's like John Candy from The Great Outdoors riding that horse. Like I show up like 2 hours later while everyone's already on like their second beer at the whatever hangout. I'm
like that. I'm like that with cars. And like, there's been a few times, like I've never had a motorcycle, but there's been a few times that I'm like, I try to talk my wife into like, hey, I should get a motorcycle. And she's like, no, you shouldn't. And I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't. I'll kill myself.
No, I'm with the wife on that.
I will kill myself.
Well, here's the thing about the motorcycle, though. If you're in a car, if it's not your fault, you'll get rear-ended. You could be the best motorcyclist guy of all time, but if you get rear-ended, you could still die.
Gone.
You're gone. You're gone.
Yeah.
Like there's people that some of my friends that have like the biggest trucks of all time, like 3,500 HD Chevys or fucking Ford 3,500s or whatever. They're like, I'll never rear end anybody rear end anybody. But if I get T-boned or something from behind, like I'm still alive. If that happens on a motorcycle, you're dead.
You're gone. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're gone.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Never motorcycle guy. Never nothing. Hold on, this chick's cruising over though.
But I see motorcycles and I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I kind of want one. And I'm like,
Hold on to that. Hold on. This chick's here. Hold on.
My ADD kicks in and I'm like, ooh, shiny.
Holy crap! It's after 11 o'clock.
Yeah, no, it's 11:17 for me. Oh, you're the
Yeah.
same time zone as I am.
Yeah. It's an hour ahead for CH here, man. I probably should wrap it up. And
Yeah, same here. I gotta go to work tomorrow.
well, it's been a few hours, so I think we've done our service here on the stream.
You gotta work tomorrow too.
Oh yeah, don't most of us?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna wrap it up here, I guess, because
Yeah.
I got
From
some
the
cleanup
back.
here to do before I go to. Yeah. All right. Well,
When you brewing again?
me?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think I can.
Oh,
I
that's
got
right. You said
I got 20 gallons of beer right here next to me, fermenting away, and all my shit's in use. So until, yeah,
I got one right here.
Yeah,
It's almost done.
yeah. I've only got
And-
four kegs and all. And I got plenty of fermenters I could ferment in, but I've only got 4 kegs to store the beer in. So they're all going to be in use soon.
You could always go old school and bottle.
Bottle or can, I guess. Yeah, I suppose
Yeah.
I can do that. Yeah, I guess that's an option.
Yeah.
I just don't like the whole canning thing. The Yeast and the Beast, he's still on, right? Yeah, he just did a video on canning, right? And they're like, yeah, I got the same canner. I got this big box of empty cans behind me here. But every time I want to go can beer, I get lazy and go, man. Then I got to sanitize my freaking. I have to go get my beer gun. I got to set everything up. Then I got to sanitize. I got to line everything. It's like a production line, right? It's like I just want to grab a growler and go out for the night. So I'll just grab a growler and top it up and go bring it somewhere. And I'm like, I don't really can that often. But I suppose if I have a whole batch, I could do it all at one time. Then maybe that would make some sense.
Wow.
But, yeah.
What I got?
No, it's cool
what I
that
got
people
for
still use
fermenting
growlers.
Yeah.
It really
What
is.
I got fermenting right now is a seltzer.
Uh-oh. Don't tell Larry that. It's gay.
Oh, well, it can be, yeah, I suppose. I'm just kidding. It's not my thing. That's all. It's like,
See, every time I brew, I do a beer.
Chris Radiation, baby. RajCon 2022. Shout out to Chris Radiation, man. I see you, baby. I'll see you, baby.
I do a seltzer at the same time as I do a regular brew, just because it's easy.
Thank you,
And, like,
Chris.
It scratches, like, during the week, if I want to have something to drink, it scratches that itch that, like, I don't feel like a complete slob and, like, fucking drinking too much. Like, I don't know. It just, like, I don't feel as full. 'Cause I'm getting old.
But that's
why I drink the whiskey.
Yeah, but that's kind of the bummer though, because you have to drink like 4 of those things, and we talked about that on the podcast. It was like you can't really bring like 6 beers to the beach anymore. It just doesn't feel right. The beach doesn't want you there with glass, But those hard seltzers, you drink like 4 of those the way you would drink like one IPA.
yeah.
Well, and the other thing is, I don't drink hard alcohol. I don't like it. I haven't drank hard alcohol in years. I just don't. I just don't like it. Also, because gin was my thing, and gin makes me forget.
I was never a gin guy.
Gin
Later day in the life.
Gin makes me time travel. I time travel with gin.
It's like me and tequila.
Yeah, and so I don't do that anymore. I used to do wine, but I think as I got older, the tannins in wine gives me really bad migraines, so I can't do that anymore either.
Yeah.
It sucks. Which I like wine a lot, but I'm good for a glass.
I don't think I've ever had anything except beer in my house since I've been in Knoxville.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, my whole thing was like, I'm going to live here for a year and then buy a house. And I was like, well, I don't want to put a bar together here just to have when I moved out of San Diego, it was such a nightmare. I would love to do a nightcap whiskey shot with you guys right now with Larry, I know he's got whiskey or bourbon over there, but yeah, dude, I'm so jealous. I just I was so bummed out that I had to like move and give up so much shit, and nobody was like buying my shit on Facebook Marketplace and stuff. And I just told myself like I'm not gonna put a real bar together until I own a house.
I gotta ask you, because that what you did is a big leap of faith. Like,
Leaving California?
What made you just like, well, like not just leave California, but just like leave all your
Across
friends
country.
and everything behind, and just be like, you know what,
Okay.
I'm gonna fucking do this and go.
Here's Jonathan Elliott.
balls.
Two things. More importantly, like when Jonathan Elliott's here right now. Shout out to Jonathan Elliott, man. When I like became single in San Diego, I didn't realize like how expensive it was in California, and you don't really know California until you come in or you go out. You just don't. It's like trying to explain to somebody about like Texas barbecue or Southern California Mexican food. You don't get it until you're like freshly there or freshly out. And California economically like does not make sense unless you make a ton of fucking money, of fucking money, or you're addicted to surfing. Like you really need to be in the ocean and you can be on the beach and snorkeling or surfing or in the water. And I wasn't either of those. So I was like I had $20,000 saved up. And I thought like, hey, this money goes like a lot further if I leave California. And it definitely does. But I kind of shot myself in the foot a couple times with that because I was always a 1099 person with YouTube, like a volatile donations come in, this and that. Most people have like, you know, salary or their, you know, a weekly paycheck or a bi-monthly paycheck. And someone's there. And I came to Asheville in January, and I loved Asheville. And I literally thought, like most Californians, there goes Larry.
Oh, sorry.
I literally thought that, like most Californians, they think that most places outside of California are like just hippie redneck. And like, I didn't care at that point. I really didn't. I was like, okay, like whatever. As long as it's not like too hillbilly, which could be cool, or like straight gangster ghetto. Like, I really don't care where I live. I just have to leave California. And I'm not saying this to say this. Like, I'm saying this because it's true. Like, I'm the biggest fucking burnout in San Diego. Like, I'm the biggest, like, I know I party with everybody. Some of my friends got married. Some of my friends had kids. I had to leave California, and I was never, ever, ever, ever going to be able to own a house. So literally one night I got drunk and I like spun the globe. And by globe, I mean Google Images, and it was like Kingston or Johnson City, which is the Tri-Cities, Chris Vodka. It's like Kingsport, Johnson City. Larry, you know about Johnson City?
No, I do not.
So that's like 2 hours north of me. Asheville's to the east, but not by much. Like they're in western North Carolina. I'm in eastern Tennessee. And to the south of me is Chattanooga. All I knew is that like I didn't want to live. Atlanta's too expensive. Nashville's way expensive.
Oh yeah.
And Memphis is like, I've just heard all bad things. But I come out to Memphis and I've met so many people that are like, dude, Memphis is like the most beautiful thing ever. People from California just think it's either like super ghetto or super hick. We're just super ignorant in that regard. So I just came down to like me looking at Trulio one day and like finding houses. And I remember looking at this house I live at now, and I hit up the landlord and I was like, dude, I can't come out there just to like look at a house. I literally like need to do a FaceTime thing and this and that. And I asked the guy, I was like, is this like ghetto or like hillbilly? And the guy's like, what? I'm like, is this like super gangster? Am I going to be the only white guy, or am I going to be the only like white guy that like doesn't like being white? He's like, dude, it's nothing like that. Like, just cruise out here. And I cruised out here. Knoxville's the best city I've ever been to in my entire life. And it could have been like, I loved Austin. No offense to Alias, but like, everything's so spread out. Everything's so dry. Knoxville is a small town. And I didn't know anything about this, but I literally just moved out here on a whim, on blind faith. And I guessed right. And I want to live in Knoxville fucking forever.
Nice.
That was literally all the story is.
Good.
I know nobody here. I know nobody here.
Have you kind of built friends and relationships there at all yet? Or?
Yeah, the one dude from Yeehaw, like we hung out a little bit. He called me out like a couple months ago when I first moved in. I went to a bar right across the street from my house, and him and his buddy were watching their iPhone, and they were like looking over at me. They were like, "Are you the fucking bullshit dude, the Homebrew for Life guy?" I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "Get over here." And we exchanged phone numbers, and we've been in touch ever since. And he's put me in touch with like really good people, and all good beer people, kind of all of our same age, kind of the same idea. Like we want to get the whole craft beer scene kind of going more in Knoxville. Like, you know, obviously it'll never be like San Diego here. This place has like a lot of potential to grow as far as owning a brewery, being a part of a homebrew club, buying a house, owning, you know, a basement or, well, this is, and so I keep in touch with these people, but for the most part, like, no, Chris, I'm like a full-on loner out here, and I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I'm totally jelly, man. I'm going to retire to Knoxville when I get a chance to get out of this state too. But
yeah, what's stopping you, Larry?
My kids are still in school locally here, so once they can get out of school here, I'm out of here, honestly.
Larry, Gary, you would love Knoxville, man. Like you would.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, what's your house worth? Probably like $800,000. You could buy 3 of those fucking things, but you have to do it like in the next 2 years because this is the next city that's going to kind of blow up, kind of like Asheville.
Yeah, it's been growing for a number of years now. Yeah, you got to get in there before it gets way too late. Yeah, you're right.
See, when we're all said and done, we're probably going to go to Colorado because my wife loves the mountains a lot.
Oh,
and so
mine too. I got family out there.
End up in Colorado.
Yeah, that's my plan B. Is
Colorado
mountains?
Huh?
Yeah.
Is Colorado better than Omaha, Nebraska?
As far as cost of living, no.
Right.
Cost of living's pretty good here. Like honestly, I love it here. It's just like, and I have no problem with staying here. My wife just wants to go somewhere where it's prettier. It's, you know, Omaha's not bad at all. Like no, by no means, it's great. I love living here. It's just
Mesa's slowing it down.
Yeah, but we like to hike a lot, and we like to do a lot of outdoorsy things, and so it's lacking when it comes to that, I guess.
Are your guys' kids the same age? Like when they move out, you can kind of do your own thing. You and Larry.
My kids are. What are my kids' ages? Oh, let me think here. Sorry, 9 and 12. So I got a 4th grader and a 7th grader.
So Larry's kids are like 10 years older than yours.
Yeah,
I started late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Larry's going to end up in Colorado or Tennessee.
Yeah, well, I prefer Tennessee because of this no retirement tax and state income tax. Yeah. Colorado is not a low tax state, so.
I've also looked at Utah too. So.
Utah's my personal favorite, but my wife has never been there, so she's apprehensive about checking it out.
What about Idaho? I know a lot of people go to Idaho. Larry, what do you know about Idaho?
I love Idaho. I would love to move there too, but again, my wife's never been there. She wants to go check it out first. She's been to Tennessee, so she's comfortable with the idea of moving there.
See, also, my wife would jump at the chance to move overseas, Europe.
Well,
she'd flip shit to move to Europe.
Dude, live in Prague any chance you get. What's the worst state to live in?
I'm a Czech.
What's the worst state to
Czech.
you do look Czech. What's the worst state to live in? Like most expensive, most permits, most policies? California, New York, or Washington?
Or Illinois is pretty high.
New York State is terrible.
Yep, New York, Illinois, California, and you said Washington?
Washington or Oregon. Yeah, Oregon's gnarly, man. You want to have fucking tents with bums everywhere? You want to go to a
states to avoid.
my dream.
San Diego got destroyed.
My dream company to work for is in New York State, and I would never go there because
Larry's on a mission.
It just sucks.
Sorry.
Nah. Well, let's do it, guys. Let's get out of here, man. I fucking love it, man.
Sense.
Let's get out of here.
Right.
It's 12:30 my time.
Thanks for having me, brother.
Always, man.
Thanks for having me with the OG with Larry.
Yeah,
anytime, man.
With you, man.
Anytime.
Yeah, thanks.
Man. Midland is good. All right, everyone, have a good night, man. Thanks again, Larry. Let's get out of here.
See you guys. Yep, I'm gonna kill some bugs. All right, see you.
Have a good night, brother.
See y'all.